I am Stephen Hopkins of Rhode Island, a farmer's son, a shipbuilder, a judge. Of all the signers, only my trusted comrade, Ben Franklin, was older than me. I was one of the first to call for independence. In 1764, a decade before the Revolution, I wrote that the Crown has no right to tax the colonies without the consent of the people. In 1774, at the First Continental Congress, I saw where this was going. Powder and ball will decide this question, I told the assembled. I was right about that, too. When the moment came for me to sign the Declaration, my hand shook from illness. But as I signed that sacred parchment, I steadied my right with my left and said, "My hand trembles, but my heart does not. This nation was born in boldness. Keep it so, with clear minds and steady hearts."
If you threaten Americans anywhere on Earth, we will hunt you down without apology. And we will.
Welcome to
crush decision of the department.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Listen to me. When I say this will never go away, hide. Just you. Hide.
2,000 people have been killed as the Iran regime cracks down.
We had to do it, wipe out evil. For 47 years they've been killing people in the most violent way.
You motherfucker, you!
I'm gonna bomb the shit out of them.
Yeah. Welcome to the jungle.
We've knocked out their Navy, their Air Force, we've knocked out their anti-aircraft, we've knocked out everything. We're roaming free. From a military standpoint, they're finished.
Welcome to the jungle. You can feel it too. Somebody's watching you. You can feel it.
Never in history has a modern military been so rapidly and historically obliterated, defeated, from day one with overwhelming firepower.
Welcome to the jungle.
This is the world that you know. The world as it was at the end of the 20th century. It exists now only as part of a neural interactive simulation that we call the Matrix. You've been living in a dream world, Neo. This is the world.
Cameras on, we're going live tonight. American pride and patriot fight. The white rabbit has taken flight. Knock, knock, sleepy Neo, this is for real. We're swallowing red pills left and right. Come and overdose with us Tuesday night. They say we're crazy, say we've gone too far, but we're just truth seekers under the dome. Don't be mad at us, Google Chrome. They laugh, they mock, they think we're insane. Please just use your effing brain. This is the UPC, where real Americans are standing up, taking control of the matrix. We keep beat machines.
Yo, what's good, everybody?
Hello, everyone. Hey, Bo.
We got Bo in the last minute, Bo. I didn't know if he was gonna make it or not. I said I hope he does.
I had a little bit of an accident. I had to go take care of it. We had a huge storm hit here, and it knocked over one of my water plants. And
Oh
my wife was trying to get it back up, but it weighs over 100 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I had to go in there and pull it out. So yeah,
It sounds like you were rushing around like I was tonight.
yeah.
Huh?
So I'm out of breath right now because I had to lift that sucker, and I'm out of shape, and I was struggling. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I pulled that sucker out. I was like, oh my gosh,
dude,
this plant.
We had to take down this big ass tree a couple of weeks ago, and they were going to charge me $1,000 to clean it off. So I said, no, I'll just clean it off myself. Well, I got most of it cleaned up, but there were some really big pieces that I couldn't do nothing with. So one of my neighbors, I paid him to come by and pick it. I told him, I'll pay you to come by and pick it up. I didn't know his ass was going to come tonight at 6 o'clock. So here I am for 2.5 hours helping him load this trailer up with all these big pieces of wood. And yeah, I was out of breath. I was hot and sweaty. Wife forgot that it was Tuesday, so I pretty much had to do all the animals and everything. At 8:30, she's like, "Oh, I forgot you had your show tonight. I'm sorry, I could have helped out."
She making you work, boy.
I'm like, damn. So here I was. I jumped in the shower like at 8:34, and I'm here. So
I'm glad I'm not the only one that's huffing and puffing.
No.
Yeah.
So hello, everyone in the chat.
Crazy.
Welcome to the UPC.
Yeah. Did you see Rod? He said, I've been studying all week for the quiz, but you see, Jimmy is going to have new questions every week and new categories. Well, hopefully it'll be the same categories, but different questions.
Well,
so we're cooked.
So let me give you guys a preview of this. Okay. All right. So we are going to try to, we'd like to have, several people up on the camera, up on the stage. So you guys would be participants. So we're going to, so tonight's, there's going to be categories, and the categories is this is just a preview. Early America, pre-1700s, the 1700s, revolution and independence, the 1800s, expansion, conflict, and change, early 1900s, innovation and world wars, late 1900s, civil rights to the Cold War, and modern America, 2000s to now. So those are going to be the categories for this evening, and probably for the next 4 weeks, because I got 80 questions, and the plan is to ask about 20. We'll see how time goes and everything, but the plan is to ask about 20. Now, how we're going to do it is, we're still going to figure that.
Yeah. So now that you say it the way that you did, I'm thinking maybe each week we can do one category and just keep it together. And then we could prepare ourselves for the next category, because we need some time to do some research, because, 1700s.
Nice. Because that's a lot of information to try to go through in a short amount of time. Especially when everyone works.
Well, I was thinking we can do it either way. So, but what I was thinking is like, I give Ruby, all right, Ruby, it's your turn. Which category would you like to choose from?
Okay.
And then you could pick the category, and then I can mark that question off as being asked, so we don't ask it again.
Okay.
And then eventually, when we run out of categories, like the modern modern America 2000s to now, it only has 1, 2, 3. It only has 5 questions.
Okay. So, yeah. All right. So then we'll just prepare the best to our ability, because Jimmy and I were saying, like, it can be like a Jeopardy type. We can choose categories, put scores to it. We're gonna go by a trust system. So there's rules, but we're gonna trust ourselves.
Yeah, and I want to say this. I had somebody last week make a comment, said something about the stupid quiz you guys did or whatever.
Who said that?
I'll text it to you. I'll tell you.
What?
Yeah, but so here's the thing to that person. Don't watch it. If you think it's stupid, don't watch it, okay?
Yeah, for real. Like what?
It's simple as that. All we're trying to do. I know.
We had so much fun.
Yes. That was the whole idea.
So much fun. Thank you, John. He said the quiz was the best part. That's when we were like super engaged, participating.
Yes.
Like the chat was on fire. I get super competitive and I had a migraine and I couldn't really fight the way I wanted to. But like, I love playing games. That's the best part for me too.
Well, see, that was the whole idea, was to, having difference, because we talk about some heavy topics from time, pretty much every time.
Yeah, all the time.
So it's nice to have a little bit of relief and have a little fun and actually learn something along the way too. So
yeah,
that's the whole idea behind it.
I think it's good. I mean, you guys do have a lot of heavy subjects, and have a little fun, dude. It's good for people. We don't need to all be depressed all the time.
Yeah. So we'll probably start that at about 11ish. I'm actually, I told Ruby earlier, I'm actually hoping we could be done by 12 tonight. But she said if folks want to stay on longer, she might just consider it an after show thingy. But
yeah, like I'll keep going if I have enough energy or whatever. Yeah. Yeah,
because we've been trying to keep it at 3 hours, and then 2 of the last 3 weeks we've gone at 4 hours. And I'm like, that's killing me on my Wednesdays on my days I have to work. Yeah. So I'm like,
that's pretty hardcore, guys. That's dedication. 4 hours. I mean, that's like half a work day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, you guys are on it, man. That's a lot.
So, and then I also told John. Okay, I also told John, since he's in the chat, hey John, if you want to come on tonight, come on before 12 o'clock so I can get my ass to bed on time. So he said if he found something he needed to talk about or discuss, then he would jump on early.
So is the AI data center in the Texas fighting Islamic takeover? Is that your guys' subject for today?
Yeah, Ruby's gonna take the floor.
Yeah, so if Lily, she sent me a lot of great emails and we've been talking through email. So if Lily wants to join, let me put the link up again. And anybody else who has knowledge about this type of stuff, we've seen this kind of lately in the news, these data centers. Okay, this is where all of the information is stored. It kind of feels like our theme. You know what I'm saying? Like the Matrix and the machines and everything. So that's basically what it is. But she sent me a lot of great information. I'm going to have to pull up my email. But Lily, if you were listening, definitely hop the panel now. So I'll give her like 2 minutes. Because she was sending me this stuff. And I was like, oh, yeah, I kind of know about this already. Like there was a little bit of that in the news that there's like 5,000 centers already like up and running. And how a lot of city councils are actually going against this, like they're rejecting these data centers because they're trying to buy up land, and then they're trying to buy up people's land, and that's literally.
Well, yeah. The other part is the electricity. They're going to actually take the grid from the locals, because the biggest problem with data centers isn't building the data center; it's powering the data centers.
Exactly. So I have a few clips that I saved on X that I wanted to play. So let me see. Let me share my screen.
Do you want to go straight into the data center stuff now, Ruby? Is that where we're going? I'm just asking.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're going to go straight into the data centers. And I'm only going to stay on this topic for about 10, 15 minutes. That's if Lily doesn't join. If she joins, then I'll let her have the floor for a little bit so she can give us, her point of view on it. But I'm going to share this information so that you guys can go ahead and look at it on your own, because that's basically what we do here. We say something or do something or show you guys something. And the point is so that you can do this at home. You know what I'm saying? Yay, Lily joined. Hi, Lily.
Hi, how are y'all?
Hey, Lily.
Hey.
Welcome.
Took me a couple minutes to figure out how to join there. Sorry about that.
Did you cut your hair?
That's okay.
I did.
Yes, it looks so good. What?
I did. Thank you. Thank you. Back to the pixie look.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh, and we got
Going
Gigi
on,
already too. Okay, cool.
I'm so happy, Gigi. You girls are the ones for this topic, both of you.
So,
Like I was really
I
hoping on
didn't-
you guys.
I didn't hear what you said while I was trying to join, Ruby, but all I heard you say you were putting a link in, and I didn't know what you said after that. So you'll have to
okay, so I'm
fill
gonna
me
show
in.
a couple of clips. I'm gonna show some clips about data centers because Tucker Carlson has a good clip I want to show you. And then I wanted to show a testimony of a Georgia resident who's fighting for her land, and that was a clip that was kind of going viral. So I'm gonna show that.
We got some feedback going on.
Just a little bit of an echo. I think it's gone now. Okay, it's gone now. All right, so this is the first clip.
We are so close to the scariest, most dystopian system. This is what the drive to build all these thousands of data centers is about, to micromanage the world's population through the new financial world order. AI is really about that. We're heading towards digital control systems where we have no more control over our liquid assets. It will be programmable, permission-based. So only what the central planners allow you to use your money for, at what time and place and location will be permitted. And if you're in the wrong place, it's not going to work. And if you're buying the wrong book, it's not going to work. Your money won't work outside a certain zone, whether it's 15-minute prison zone or whatever it may be. It is the totalitarian dictator's dream come true.
Yeah, it's a smart city, basically, is what they're doing there.
Yep.
All right, so that's the first clip, kind of to give you like a teaser of what this whole thing is about. And then I saved another clip, let me see here, of a resident because they were trying to take her land.
Eminent
Okay, right here. Here
domain.
goes the...
It's called eminent domain.
Exactly. Okay, I'm going to share this one. All right.
Hey, you guys, it's Ansley Brown on the fight to save my mom's house from eminent domain. Here I am today with another mother and a homeowner who this is affecting. What is it taking from her? Look behind me. It's taking this entire backyard, the pool and everything. Tell us about it.
Hi, my name is Cynthia, and I am just one of many homeowners who are impacted by Georgia Power's high voltage power lines that are going in to support data centers that are being built all over. We were informed that they were going to come in and take more than half of our property. They are going to demo all of these trees, playhouse, fence, fire pit, the pool, the saw, all of this, including our two neighbors' houses. They're completely demoing theirs. This easement is only going to be 12 feet from our house, 12 feet from our bedroom where we sleep. Now, they did say that they would take the entire house, that they would purchase the entire house. However, that purchase is based off of their own appraised value of the house, which is significantly less than our appraised value for the house, our own private appraisal. So it's not also sufficient enough to replace what we have. We have been told many times by them that they don't have to buy the house. They can only buy the easement, which would just decimate everything. Every single thing, the pool, all of this, everything that we have spent 17 years building, it would be a financial devastation because we would never be able to rebuild this, especially at our age. And this is the only home our daughters have ever known. Georgia Power is owned by the Southern Company. The Southern Company is a $105 billion market capital company. They are bigger and just as big as the four combined capital markets of the four major airlines in the United States. Delta, United, American, and Southwest combine their market capitalization, and that equals the Southern Company who owns Georgia Power. These data centers that are being built, they're being built for 5 primary companies that equate to $13 trillion in market capitalization. To put that in perspective, you take all the GDPs in the world, and there's only 2 that beat that, and that's the United States and China. Georgia Power is expecting all of the tax citizens and the landowners here to subsidize their project, to subsidize these data centers. And enough is...
Okay, I'm going to pause that there because this is another one of her sharing her testimony. I think there's a different woman in like a city council. And this is the one that is a little shorter and it gets to the point.
My name is Brianna Rice, Robinson Road.
speaking for myself, I'm 28 years old. While most people my age are planning vacations, I'm spending my time fighting for survival of my cattle farm. I'm here because a massive data center was approved just a couple of miles from my land, Project Cell, and I'm being hounded by Georgia Power for an easement to build transmission lines through my property for the FET data center. I'm a local farmer, not an industrial developer. These 500 kV lines aren't for me. They are for the data centers that the boards and surrounding counties continue to approve. I have mail from lawyers stacking up on my kitchen table wanting to take my case because they know my land is being targeted for eminent domain. Okay, let's see. I shouldn't have to worry about the specific wording of a legal contract just to keep my own land from being industrialized. When the FET data center was first brought up, it should have been brought attention to all that would be impacted. I did not have a voice to speak my mind, and that feels like an infringement on my First Amendment rights. These easements are permanent. They affect my ability to graze my cattle. They lower my property value, and they destroy the rural character of this county forever. This board makes decisions to approve these massive projects, but it's residents like me, young people trying to build a life here, who pay the price. You're voting to turn our farms into a network of high voltage wires and noisy industrial buildings. I'm asking you to realize the real world impacts of your votes. Every time you say yes to a data center, you're saying no to a local farmer. Aren't just numbers on a map. We are the future of the county, and right now you're making that future impossible. Respectfully, take that cow off the logo. Thank you. And I do have bigger fish to fry.
We fought the redcoats for the same reasons.
Right.
I'm going to say about it.
So, all right. So I'm going to look at this evening with basically no lens of any kind. And the reason why is because I've not dove down these rabbit holes on these data centers yet. So I do not have, normally I'll have an argument about something or something that I feel, about something. You guys already know that. Hell, got so many trolls for doing that, but it is what it is. But anyway, so tonight, what I've got, I asked Claude to share with me the pros and cons of the data centers and these flock cameras. Now, because I'm not as versed in this topic, then I can look at it this way. There's a part of me where I agreed with, I think it was J Mars in the let me go back. J Mars said the data centers are not AI, probably a government surveillance system collecting data. My suspect. All right. I'm suspiciously worried about these for two reasons. One, is it the government, of course, doing this, spying on us? Two, what about our constitutional rights? The other thing that I'm thinking that I'm going to have to look into, my other intuition is, okay, we know that the deep state globalists want to completely control everything we do. Like Bo said, they want 15-minute cities. They want facial recognition like they have in China. They want all this. So it seems to me like that one person in the clip said, this is a dream for these people, the deep state globalists, to create something like this. So then I start thinking, wait a second, they already got all the information. I mean, they track us like crazy anyway. They have centers already that are actually underneath mountains to where it's naturally cool to keep these computers cool and everything. So personally, I'm like, what is this all about? Why do we need it? What's going on? Is it for what they say it is? Or is this the deep state trying to push their agenda? Or is it something that may not even happen? I don't know. But it's just a way to wake people up to, hey, this is what they wanted to do to y'all. So I'm not sure yet.
Can I make a comment?
Absolutely.
Okay, I brought this up a few weeks ago. There's over 3,000 data centers in the United States. Tucker Carlson says it's about 4,000.
Over 5,000.
Well, see, all the numbers differ. There is a chart that you can look up, and it'll list all the data centers for each state. Texas and California have the highest. And this isn't anything new, but the reason why it's making noise right now is because they're popping up everywhere. This started in 2018, and Georgia has the fastest growth in the country for data centers. So AOC and Congress just yesterday had 2 bottles of brown water that came from the drinking water in Georgia. Now, a woman in Texas, Trinidad, Texas, she wrote on Facebook that she's got brown, I don't know what sediment coming out of her tub, into her dishwasher, and in her kitchen sink. Well, they came to arrest her for that information, and they try to downplay it.
Whoa.
Yeah, so this is turning into a nightmare. A lot of people are pushing back. They're all going to their town halls and fighting with the government, and they're saying, oh no, we need these data centers. Well, I'll tell you what the data centers are all about. First, there's 3 reasons what they're doing. Number one, the number one cause is the dirty water. It's causing allergies, asthma, respiratory illnesses now this is a whole across the country. This isn't just one state. Maine and Vermont have the lowest number of data centers. You can look this all up. You can Google the chart for data centers, and it'll list every state. And Arizona, by the way, Bo, I think Zuckerberg and Bezos are putting a huge one in Arizona.
Yeah, it's out in the middle of nowhere though.
Well, yeah, so they can't be seen.
Well, I mean, it's not like nowhere, but it's like where our town is, and then and it's out at the very ends, and it's just out there in nowhere. So it's not like but I mean, our landscape is super different than most of these other states because we're desert. So it's just fields of nothing.
Here's the scary part. They use enough electricity for 100,000 homes. That's one data center. And number 2, 5 million gallons of water every day. And it's harmful pollution, and it contributes to asthma, like I said, and the noise pollution from the fans, because they need a cooling. It's a process center. They store the data, they process the data, and they have to have the cooling system run 24 hours to keep all that energy from burning out and causing fires. So the fans make a lot of noise, and the neighbors that are close to the data are complaining about the noise at 3-4 o'clock in the morning, because those fans got to be pretty loud because they have to be pretty huge. So it's the state of Georgia that I feel really, really sorry for them. And I heard today from a realtor, she said that new homes, like you said, I forgot what kind of city you said, Bo, that
15 minutes.
Smart cities? No, they're not 15 minutes. They're called smart cities.
Smart cities. Yeah. Sorry, thank you.
Yeah.
What they're doing, they're putting little boxes, supposedly they're data boxes on these homes, and you can't touch them because they belong to the government. So what are they doing? Why are they having all these homes with the data centers attached to the houses? I mean, how much fuel and how many of these do we have to get these AIs up and running? I don't know. It's just amazing. But the data center for the people in Georgia, they got them pretty close to their farmlands and their homes. And I don't know what's going to happen. And I heard today that they were canceling some of their data centers. So we'll see what happens. But
so they're building these data centers. The reason they're doing it is because China, Russia, and other countries are building data centers too.
Oh yeah, they want to compete with them. I know.
You gotta. So what they're going to be used for is we're building supercomputers, and those supercomputers need memory. Just think of the data centers as memory sticks, okay? And so how it's going to work is they're going to be needing that memory because they're going to want to be out competing our adversaries, and that's why they're so insane about doing this, is because China is building them like crazy. And we know that the technology advancement we have right now could disappear almost instantaneously once these machines are up and running. Once AI is smart enough to be able to analyze things, all it's going to be able to do is to get a satellite image of, like, let's say an F-22, and then that technology is boom. It's going to know what it is. It's going to be able to make it. They're going to be able to produce it. And we're not going to have the technological advances that we have right now against China and Russia. Because right now, people don't realize this, but our technological advancement compared to what they actually have is way, way, way more advanced than what people even realize. Because their stealth fighters, like for China and stuff, compared to the F-22s, their most modern stealth fighter is crap. And we just had an interaction with them. We just found out that they couldn't even target us, and we were able to target them. So they want to keep that military avenue of advancement over China, and that's why they're going to push these data centers, because if we don't do it, China's going to do it, and China could overtake us in the technology realm.
See, this is why I want to like hold my powder dry on this, because something tells me that there's more to this than what's being put out there. I mean, okay, Gail, I know what AOC did. I saw her do it, but knowing her character and knowing what she stands for and everything.
You think she falsified it?
That's what my thinking is. I think it might be BS that she's doing this, because my thinking is around, okay, there's a lot of fear being pushed into this. Warranted, yes, I agree. There are people going to their town halls, telling their personal stories. Yeah, I don't agree with eminent domain, especially for something like this. But just something tells me, and I could be wrong, that there's more to the story than what's being fed to us.
There's no reason they should be building these in neighborhoods and things like that.
I agree with that.
That makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, like understanding the way that this works and how these things run, the safest way to do them is to keep them away from the general public, like the way most power plants are, because that's basically what these things are going to be. They're like a mini nuke station. There's so much power going into these things. It makes no sense whatsoever you put them in a residential area unless you plan on targeting them.
Yeah, I did see one X post that said data centers, ? Or foundation for the Iron Dome. Now, I just saw that. I can't verify that or anything.
I know nothing about that.
So that's where Trump said that the United States needed an Iron Dome to protect itself from outside threats, missiles, like they have over Israel, the Iron Dome over Israel. So if there's incoming rockets.
So that's why I'm thankful Lily came up here, because she was the one that sent me a lot of great emails. So Lily, go ahead and share with us your thoughts on the data center.
I understand when people talk about the concept of keeping up with the Joneses, we'll call it, China and everybody else. I ask why? Why, in terms of what benefit is it that way versus decimation of the environment and the people who live near them? I don't have at my fingertips because I only have the cell phone. I don't have a laptop or another computer to read off of. But the health effects, basically, you're not going to be able to exist for any length of time without your health completely breaking down. Your environment, like Bo, you were saying, it's out in the middle of nowhere. And Gail pointed out how many millions of gallons it takes. For example, in what now is going to be, I actually heard today from a complete stranger, randomly meeting, talking about data centers today. He said that the one in Box Elder Canyon, Utah, is going to be the largest to date. So the people protested this, but they didn't give the people the opportunity to really, their voice be heard in a way to stop it. They went ahead and agreed to stop it. The governor of Utah agreed to do it. But yet, a week later, the governor announces how Utah is in a state of drought. Well, we know it's in a state of drought, but why would you put these things in areas like you mentioned, Bo? But at the same time, if we have such little water, because there's a question of basically, are they hiding the water? Have they hid the water? Is there really water and we don't know about it?
Good point.
Is that something they know that we don't know? I've heard stuff from various people, YouTubers and whatnot, reading history, like you talked about from the 1700s, about how this part of the country, the Southwest, was essentially like Egypt the Nile, a large body of water going through it, and how there was something that happened, and the next thing you know, it's covered over.
Yep.
And so there's like a lot of different thoughts. I'm trying to be centered and say, well, what do I not know that they're hiding that they're okay with putting them in place? But for our immediacy, it makes no sense, because not only are we not going to be able to sustain it in terms of electric, and I'm going to give an example that recently happened. For those of you who know of Lake Tahoe, Nevada, it's a huge place, has a massive body of water. And I found out recently that they had discovered that the water is actually toxic, that there's years and years of hidden waste that was dumped there. And even though the water is clear, it's actually very toxic. And so they were like, we need to address this. And then the city officials decided they're not going to address it. And I'm thinking, how could they not care to address a toxic situation, to remove the barrels, to get rid of it? And then I find out that there's a data center happening there, and the electric company that supplies the residents, I think it was 49,000 residents, has announced that by 2027, they will no longer be supplying electric to their residents.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, think about what happened in California with the fires in Hawaii, that they let all these people's property burn down. And in Hawaii, the whole place burnt down. And they're claiming they didn't have the fire department there or something about the water. They don't care. Let's face it, they don't give a damn about the American
That's the
people.
common denominator, is that we as people are expendable.
Yes.
And so the
That's
concept
where we
that
need to come in and fight back, because there's no strict regulations on all this crap. We have to fight back. Why is Bill Gates still allowed to give us lab meat? Now it's poisoning us with ticks, so our cattle will get infected. And the,
that they're going to be
all this allowed because they have the money. He's got trillions of dollars, Gates. He's got one of the largest companies, and Blackstone's another corrupt demonic company. They don't care about us. They want this AI push because they want to get rid of the people. Because Facebook laid off 7,000 employees. You know what they said to them? Oh, don't come into work tomorrow. They all got laid off, 7,000 of them. They don't need humans anymore. That's what's happening. As American people, we need to fight back, all of us, push back, and have them stop it. We've got to do something.
You guys talk about the water supply. They're going to build so the reason we don't have water in Arizona is, and in a lot of the states, is because I forgot, it was at the 30s or 40s, we dammed everything. So there's tons and tons of dams in the United States are completely useless, and that's where a lot of our water was lost. Like here in Arizona, we lost tons of our rivers and stuff. They're non-existent anymore. What they're saying they're going to do right now is they're going to build a giant river system from Alaska. They're going to take up north, and they're going to make a giant river to feed all these stupid things. Which I don't know how long it would take to do that. I mean, that's a monstrous project, unless they've already been doing it for a long time and we just didn't know about it.
Lily has for 3 more minutes. Continue, Lily, because there are more bullet points that I want her to touch on, and then we have to discuss.
Sorry, Lily.
Go ahead.
That's okay. One of the things that I really struggle with and don't understand is why one of the first things that President Trump, if he is part of the alliance and part of the good guys and all that kind of stuff, then why warp speed all of these data centers? Why waive the red tape? Why make it so that the citizens can't stop it? I don't understand that. It's like I battle with, where could there be some hidden angle, like, Jimmy, you're talking about, that I don't understand? And so wouldn't it make sense, instead of making it easier for these things to go in like crazy? I mean, they're, like Gail had said, well, you got 3,000, no 4,000, 5,500, and they're mapping them out like crazy everywhere. It's like, it is literally warp speed on data centers. And there is, other than the aspects, Bo, that you talked about in keeping up with technology that way, then that brings me to the next question that I say in my head. So if we really already have this off-world technology, if a lot of this stuff is hidden and they're eventually going to bring it out, then why do we need that? Drive by. So why do we need that? It's like, which is it going to be? What are we actually allowing by not using our voices? It's like, to me, I think we need to all be willing to say, we can't wait for whatever good may be coming our way. We have to speak up now. And I love hearing your spirit, Gail, because I've got about 100 issues, on the tip of my tongue that have bothered me for I don't know how long. I'm speaking out all the time. Today, when I was out on an errand, I ended up talking with 2 different people. They know all about it. One person is like, yeah, we got to keep up in China. Now he's there and he's talking about how bad his headache is. And he's talking about how he hasn't felt right. And that leads to me talking about frequency and technology and all these different things. And he said, I never knew about that or thought about, but he says, this is the first year I've ever had brain fog. It's like, and when you look up, here's something that everybody should research and learn about. It's called infra, INFRA sound. When you look it up in Wikipedia and you go through the different things and you talk about what infrasound does to humans, you'll get it. It's all the symptoms that we all have. Infrasound is around us and has been around for many, many years.
That's
and
the
in
weapons
this,
that we used in Venezuela.
there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Very
Yeah.
good.
Well, yeah.
And so for people who, like, for example, the lady I was talking to today, she talks about how she feels the vibration in her body. Well, I have a friend who recently, she lived in Vegas. She said she would feel the vibration inside of her and she started having seizures. So she moved out here. I'm out in the middle of kind of nowhere. And she said, because I didn't know what was wrong with me. She says, at least I don't have that vibration and that feeling. And so the lady I was talking to today, she says, yeah, she says, I feel vibrations and stuff in my body. Infrasound is not necessarily heard, but it's felt. We feel it like animals feel it. So you get all these symptoms, these fight or flight feelings. You get anxiety. You get a general overall depression. It's like all these towers and the satellites and all of this great stuff and technology is killing us. Literally, it's killing us.
Yep.
And
5G affects people. The 5G towers, all these symptoms you're talking about, these things have been, they've known about this. I remember my friend that was running for U.S. Senate, he was showing me the documentation about 5G. And he's like, dude, don't put the 5G phone or don't keep it next to your bed. Don't do anything like that. It does cause cancer. It does. And now all these things are coming out that he told me about in 2019. And they're acting like he just found out.
When they did the data or when they did research on those brick phones back in the late 70s, early 80s, they knew they were deadly weapons. And literally they hid the data. And I listened to a lady who was talking about how she used to give conferences to help presidents and people be able to know how that children and how people were being affected. And this is like a lot of years ago. She gave that information to whoever she was reporting to that was reporting to Bill Clinton at the time. It's like they've known about the dangers of all of this stuff, but full speed ahead is not a good thing for humans.
To take that information, Gail, or Lily, and combine it with what Gail said, that these people don't care about us. They
That's right.
haven't cared about us for decades, centuries, at least going back 1912, 1913.
Since forever.
A little bit before that, but all of our lives. So
Right.
and the public and the world got to see that during 2020 with CV. We got to see what these people are willing to do and how far they're willing to push the people to break the people.
Yeah.
And when I'm looking at information, I try to find the pattern, and I'm starting to see a little bit of a pattern with the fear that's being pushed out. Like I said, it could be very warranted. There could be something else, a different angle. I don't know. So I'm actually going to try to keep a closer eye on it and see if I see anything else. But when you're done, Lily, I do have some information from Claude where there's some pros and cons on these data centers and on these flock cameras. There's a pro and con thing. So I thought maybe we'll just share that and talk about that.
Okay. Whenever you do your research, Jimmy, look into, because I don't know enough about this. There's been the talk of maybe quantum energy or quantum somehow or another can factor in there.
Yes.
But yet I still ask the question, if quantum is so wonderful, then why are we harming all the elements, humanity, environmental, and all of it? It doesn't make any sense.
The only thing that keeps popping into my head right now is, sometimes you can tell the people, other times you got to, you can't tell the people, how's it go? Sometimes you just got to show the people. Are we being shown what they wanted to do to all of us? Maybe,
so that we can reject it, right? So that we can educate ourselves and then reject this type of stuff. Because if we would have never seen this, we wouldn't know that this is what they actually plan on doing to put us down, to bring our vibrations and energy down. So we're always depressed, always anxious, and we rely on pills and big pharma, and it's the whole cycle all over again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it quantum computers what you guys were talking about when you're saying there's quantum?
Yeah, there's talk of one is the quantum financial system, and then there's the quantum energy, which would be free energy. Because believe what you want. Technically, with the research I've looked at, I think this world should have free energy anyway. Tesla, and I think it goes even back further than even Tesla.
Yes.
So, I mean, I was going down the road and going to town with my wife the other day, and I said, imagine how much more beautiful our landscapes would be if we didn't have all these power lines and towers and everything.
Exactly.
So free energy exists. The ether
and Tesla proved it. I mean, when he lit up whatever year that was, 30 or 33, that whole town with free energy.
So if we're supposed to be receiving free energy at some point, allegedly, then what the hell are the data centers for? What are they really for?
Yeah.
Exactly. So still Jimmy.
Yeah.
I have to throw this ball at you always. Every Tuesday I have to. Because when you find stuff out like this, it gets you angry, like Gail. I feel Gail 1,000% about the billionaires.
Right.
And how cozy they are with Trump. And that's a problem for me because of Peter Thiel situation with Vance and Trump, etc. Right? We know this, right? So my problem is, and I'm glad you brought up C-19 because Trump was president then as well. And yet he let that happen. But I digress. I'm just going to say, if Trump really does know these things, why doesn't he prevent it from happening? And I know I just gave a reason like 5 seconds ago.
Right.
But what bothers me is that he doesn't like say something or do something, even if it is in comms or whatever.
Right.
It's just like chaos, anger, and then we have to vote against it. But why can't we skip all that and just get like a secret message or something, or like some type of flag from the president to be like, this is happening, but just keep your
I
eyes open or
agree.
something.
I agree with you, Ruby. Why are we, if we're, I mean, I know truther stuff. I know truther stuff, Jimmy.
Right. And I agree with that stuff too. So it's like, if he did that before, he can do it now. He can do a sign or a symbol to let us know that something is happening behind the scenes. But I don't see that this time around.
With the data centers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be a great example. Yeah.
Yeah. So like with C-19, I did see those signs, those comms.
Exactly.
I did see that stuff. That's why I was able to be like, hey, y'all, there's more going on here.
Right.
With this, I'm just going to say maybe there has been, and I haven't seen them yet because I've been so busy. I haven't stayed on my research like I normally do.
That's fair. Okay.
So maybe it is out there, but I will definitely try this week to do a little bit more research on some of the sources that I use to see what they're saying, see if it's a different viewpoint than what's being put out there.
Can I say something about this?
Yeah.
Just when you guys are talking about this, it just kind of dawned on me, and I started thinking about this. I'm like, okay, so Trump has 2 more years, right? So what if letting the data centers go forward so they can do the shit they're going to do, which is bad, right? In my opinion. And then the public can see it, and then he can reverse it. Because what if it goes on and the data centers go in, and then they goes onto a new administration, and let's just say the Dems win, and there's no control of it, and then now they're going to hide everything that the data centers are doing, just like they did with COVID. Because if I remember right, with COVID, didn't the Dems have the House?
Yes, they did.
Yes.
So all this thing we're talking about, what Trump did, well, they shot down what Trump was trying to do, and Trump was saying, don't do this and don't do that. We don't want this, and they shot him down. He didn't have control. So we got to remember that. So that makes me think right now he's got it. And the reason that he is so pissed, this is a theory, I'm not saying it's right, that right now there's like there's like a 5 or 6 point difference right now. And if we lose that, then they can. We've had like several, like rhinos or whatever, and that's why he's so mad about these people is because if this goes down, we have the House. That means it comes out what's happening to people. It's making people sick. It's poisoning the water. It's doing all this terrible stuff that the Dems want to do to kill a population. Then they can show it, expose it. He can use the court systems to expose it. He can pull the records out like he's doing right now. Like, I don't think people realize how much stuff he's released that we don't know about. Like, how many people are aware of the CIA stuff? How many people are aware that they released information about Venezuela, that we didn't just have vehicles and helicopters. There was robotic machinery wiping people out like Terminator. Do you guys know about this?
Yeah.
That just was released. Now think about this. We dropped robots that one of the soldiers literally said, no weapon could stop it. There were a few hundred of these guys dropped down, and it was like Terminator. They just wipe people out left and right like machines. We don't know what they are. We don't know if it's body armor. We don't know if it's machinery. We don't know what it is. We just know that humanoid machines went through and wiped out soldiers hundreds at a time. One machine killed over 100 people. Think about that. That's crazy. And that just got released.
Wow.
Yeah, there's so much being like the fraud, all the frauds that JD Vance is going around and talking about all the fraud. I would say 90% of the American population has no freaking clue about the fraud, or they may know about it, but they don't care because they think in their mind it doesn't affect them, which it does.
Right, and we talked about that. So I'm glad we did that because I did see that all those Somalis are getting arrested, and they're showing the amount of money that they've stolen and how many years they're gonna get. So I'm happy we discussed that. Maybe next Tuesday we can dive more into that. Now the problem, another angle about the centers, just one last point, is that this is kind of giving me deja vu of when the government is trying to take our property from right under us. And this is not new. Because our government has done that before. So when I was hearing that woman from Georgia talk about her farm, you know, who is she, right? She's just one person fighting against the literal power, Georgia Power, or whoever, right? What stops them from taking her land to do that center? I mean, that's another problem.
Nothing.
Is the overreach.
Nothing takes.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
if they declare eminent domain, then they can't do anything about it. This is why part of me, like I said, I want to hold my powder dry on this, because there's something else going on. There's got to be, because I don't see Trump allowing Americans to be harmed in this way, personally.
When you make that statement, I think about some of the news feed and things that I've seen where I've seen Trump saying things that I just can't believe they're happening, but I'm hearing them and if I read it or somebody told me, but I'm seeing him talk in real time. Stuff like whenever he was signing to fast track Ozempic so that people with either low insurance.
You're coming in and out.
Hold on a second. Let me walk a little closer.
Good with
whenever. Is that better?
Yes.
It's
okay.
Perfect on my end.
Yeah, it's perfect for me too. I don't know. Go ahead.
Time out. There's like, I think mad feedback and glitching. Lily's been glitching. I didn't understand.
She's perfect on my end. I think that's on your end.
It's gotta be on your end, Jenny.
Just a little echo, but I can hear her.
Yeah, I haven't had.
I apologize, y'all.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
Hop off and come back if you need to, Jimmy. Okay, go ahead, Lily.
Well, I was going to say for Jimmy's benefit, give the example whenever President Trump was talking in real time about Ozempic. And so, and you know, I would want Jimmy to hear this. Do you want me to go ahead, Ruby, or want me to wait till he jumps back on?
It's up to you. I'll put the link back up for him because he was glitching really bad. Let's see.
Yeah, I'd like to hear this. I just got put on Ozempic and it gave me serious side effects where I'm going to be calling the physician tomorrow and blasting her.
Do you know what Ozempic is designed and that whatever that GL whatever drugs are? Do you know what it's actually?
I'm a diabetic, so it was given to me for my diabetes.
Okay. So Jimmy, can you hear now, Jimmy?
Yeah, it sounds good now.
Okay. So
yeah.
What I was saying is I really don't like or understand whenever President Trump is making statements and he's making them in real time. So I know it's an actual statement. It's not like somebody just making it up. Where like when Ozempic, he was signing something where Ozempic could be more accessible for more people at a price point that was better than what it was.
Yeah,
because it used to be the wealthy people drug, right? Mm-hmm. Well, and so he's talking about it, and I'm thinking, I know a shit ton bad about Ozempic. Right. And I have listened to personal examples plus physicians and scientists and regular people talking about it and what they knowledge of it. And I'm thinking, so why would he be fast tracking that? This drug is banned in the original company that made it, and forgive me, somewhere Sweden or someplace else, not America. Right. They ban it. They do not allow it to be used in their country, but they of course they allow it here. And so he literally was like, how great this is. And he turns around and he's talking to Bobby Kennedy and he says, Bobby, yeah, there's no reason why people shouldn't be taking Ozempic, is it? And he keeps looking back at him and the camera pans to Kennedy and he's like a deer in the headlights, like, yeah. And I know he knows it's death. And so he's like, I'm like, why?
Weird.
Yeah.
Why are they playing this game?
Exactly.
Yeah, me and John have had this conversation. You know, we've talked about, you know, Trump being a master troll. He is a really good troll. There's no doubt about that. And there are times that he says stuff and does stuff that I'm like, oh my God, Trump, why are you doing this? What is going? Because I know how most people are going to perceive it, especially if they haven't been paying attention to everything that's been going on. They're going to just see what's on TV and they're just going to go with it. Like last week we talked about, him not doing the IRS lawsuit, but settling for that $1.7 billion fund for people who have been affected by the Biden lawfare. And then the media immediately turned around and say, "Oh, Trump's allies are getting it." They didn't expound on anything. So when he talks, like I said, sometimes I'm just like, like I told Ruby, I was like, when he put out what was the picture he put out? Oh, of Massey and his new lover or whatever. It's like, why did you have to do that? So
yeah,
I don't agree with everything he publicly says. And when he does stuff like that, I try to figure out, okay, what's really going on here instead of feeding in to what the media wants you to see.
There's a hidden message with everything that he sends to
That's
people. Everything
exactly.
he does. There's nothing that guy does that's not. I mean, you got to understand, like, he's so connected to secret societies like the Masons and stuff that he lives in that world. That image is so important, and there's always something in those images. Like, for an example, that thing that they sent about Jesus. Remember, people were all like, "Oh, it's Jesus, Jesus, Jesus." That wasn't Jesus. That was a sorcerer's outfit.
Exactly.
And nobody would know that unless you understood the occult. You would have no idea what he was referencing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So can I make a comment about Ozempic?
Yeah, go ahead, Gail.
Okay, I'm 75, and most of my group of friends are my age, and 2 of them refuse to take medication. Now, I had pancreatic cancer, right? I went to the diabetes doctor 2 weeks ago, and they have to be careful on what they give me. So she gives me Ozempic. So I was all excited because I could stand to lose like 10, 15 pounds. So, well, I got so sick and my abdomen was killing me. The pain was, that's why I haven't been around for a few weeks.
Have you stopped it?
Oh, of course I did. So
Good.
my son said, "Ma, what do you want that for? It breaks your bones. It does this, it does that." Well, why didn't somebody tell me that? And why is the doctor prescribing that to me when she has my chart in front of her? It clearly states, don't give to somebody who has glaucoma, which I have, and pancreatitis. No, she didn't look at my chart. She gives it to me. So I thought, oh, okay, she knows what she's doing. She's a diabetes doctor. Well, I couldn't get up for a whole week. I'm finally feeling better, but it takes a whole week to come out of your body because you inject it in your stomach. It lasts 7 days. So
how long were you on it?
2 weeks.
Well,
and the second week is when I got violently ill. I mean, it affected my glaucoma. I was fatigued. I was falling over from being, so I looked up and all the side effects I had. So my son told me to sue the doctor, but she's going to have a tomorrow.
If you want to give to somebody there or somehow or another, you can give me your contact. I can email you some or send you, and we can be each other's contact. But there's a really good documentary that was done maybe 3 years ago, I think. And it was, I think that's Sky Australia. You guys have all seen them do.
It's like them. I watch her all the time. Yeah.
I think it was like the 60-minute version, but Australia. And they did a documentary where people just like you, and they had 2 examples of people who went on it and within days are deathly ill because it basically stops the stomach's function. It stops the stomach from operating. And that's why I have such a huge issue, not only with doctors, but anyone who would sign an order into effect to let's make it available to everyone because it's deadly. It was proven years ago. So why are we still playing this game? I don't understand that.
It's literally poison.
They're all over the place. For even Serena Williams is doing one of those GLP injections. Ozempic still advertising. I don't know. I guess they don't care about us people, do they?
Exactly. And I
well,
heard some
if
horror
she's involved in
about
it,
that.
then you know who else is involved with it, so you shouldn't trust it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, I agree.
Anything that links to that, and we know what it is, and I don't need to say it.
No, you don't have
Don't
to. I
trust
know
it.
what you mean.
Period. Anything that
Yep.
links to that, it's dangerous. That don't do nothing without hurting you.
Did we want to wrap up over the data center stuff? Did we want to?
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
think we kind of. No, that's okay. I think we kind of did because Lily got everything that she wanted to share. I also have everything that she was talking about in email. So if anybody wants to communicate with Lily, she has a lot of great information. Gail, if you
Yeah,
could put your email for
anybody's
me.
welcome to have my contact, and I'll talk with you, email or whatever.
Okay.
And it's like, it's amazing what you can find with a little bit of research, but then how it leads to all these different avenues. And you're like, you get really clear pictures of what's being, like Jimmy would say, projected out for us to see. And I had one other thought, and that
Go
has
ahead.
to do with, Jimmy, I wanted to say this. You know how you had said that if all this doesn't happen, that we're all fucked, right? You know how, okay.
Oh, I totally believe that still.
But I choose to not look at it that way or view it that way. I choose to view it the way of, okay, let's say for some reason or other, the white hats are not who they say they are, or not who they are anymore. And hold on one second. My husband is going, let me get some money, go get some ice cream. So whenever we take the approach of using our voices and speaking up, it's like sitting back and waiting, as we were told to do in 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20. When we were told to sit back, you're going to have to look through that one. It's whenever people were told, and I choose to be that they were positioned, because we were told, like JW style, the carrot on the stick.
Right.
Okay. So wait for this. And I've been around that a lot longer than a lot of people have. Even before Trump was in office, in the spiritual, not religious, love and light communities, people were talking about all these changes before Obama went in, all these different things. This kind of stuff has, in my opinion, there's been a huge infiltration of information, disinformation that I call it, where they want to control the narratives. And so where you had people like myself coming out of the religion, not thinking about politics, not involved in it at all, and I'm following trying to find my way spiritually. And so that leads to the same things they're talking about as far as all these good things that humanity will have, all these helpful technologies and different things. But there was a level that had already been infiltrated there, and people who were channeling, people who were being told that, oh, those things you're experiencing physically, just ignore them. When I look back, and I learned this a few years ago, in my opinion, the desire to control the narrative is much deeper than so many people have any concept of, which can be applied to the truther movement as well. Because there became a point where the spiritual and the truther had to meld. And that was what helped get Trump in the beginning. Because you had a lot of people that were saying, we know we need to have change. And that kind of formed into a lot of spiritual people becoming the truthers. But there's something that happened, and it's not necessarily the data center, but it's the concept of hearing frequency or hearing noise.
Right.
I started hearing it in 10. Okay. And I was trying to figure out what this noise is. And it sounds like crickets. It sounded like you're in a head full of crickets. And it just like that, like a switch. And so I went and I looked and I ended up looking, and there's a channeler. Her name is Abraham Hicks. She's not necessarily one of my favorite, but I knew of her. And I happened to catch a live where she was talking and somebody in the audience was asking the same question. What is this noise that I'm hearing? And as a channeler, her response was, shut the person down. What she did was she said, and is it bothering you? And I thought, what a stupid thing to say to somebody. And the guy said, he's standing up and he says, well, yeah, actually it is. You know, it interrupts my everyday routine because of all this noise in my head. And she basically told him to ignore it. So if that was part of the concept of frequency, and to tell people their ascension symptoms, or you're being downloaded, you're being upgraded. It's like, what if all of this had to do with just the basic dark agendas going on? And the dark agendas being there and having to control. So a lot of people would excuse away how they felt. Later, I found out why I experienced that in 2010. I was at a MUFON meeting. I wanted to go and see what it was. It's that UFO organization. And I went, and the lady was saying how she was having these headaches. And I asked, you know, what was new. And she said they put a tower up in her cul-de-sac. And so then we talked about that a few minutes. And then I started talking about the noise that I would hear and how it would change. And then another guy says, well, you know why that was? And I said, why? He said, because in such and such month of such and such year, they launched particular types of satellites. I was detecting the frequency, but yet the channeler is trying to tell people it's nothing, don't pay attention, ignore it. It's like, I think so much has been controlled of our narratives. I really do.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I believe, you know, they say that those who control the information controls the public. And, you know, I know a lot of people, you know, throughout the years, you know, going back to the 50s, 60s, there have been people whistleblowing about all the stuff the government was doing. And, you know, they were labeled. They were conspiracy theorists, you know, that came after the JFK thing, you know. So they get this label put on them because, well, hey, I'm whistleblowing. I'm trying to tell you people the truth about what happened here. And these people that want to control the narrative don't want you guys to know this. So let's go ahead and demonize these whistleblowers, these people, these government officials, ex-government officials who talked about MK Ultra. You know, Kathy O'Brien, she was made a laughing stock through mainstream media because of the stuff that she was saying. So, and for those people that were doing that at the time, my hats are off to them, because they went against all odds. They didn't have the internet. They didn't have social media. They saw something going on with our government and they tried to warn people. But the narrative was, hey, we're going to keep everybody preoccupied with movies, music, sports, everything, so they don't listen to these people, and we're going to label them, kind of like Watchtower does with apostates.
Exactly.
So when it comes to, and the reason I prefaced what I was getting ready to say with that is because I know there's a lot of people, they look at me like I'm crazy, that I've lost my mind, that I'm just a freaking Trump supporter, and no matter what he does, I'm going to lick his boot, which is not true, by the way. But I look at the narrative that's been shifted over the last 6-7 years. People, your everyday American, there's a lot of people that still have no earthly clue what the hell's going on. But there's so many people, not just here in the United States, but around the world, that have woken up to what the deep state globalists wanted to do to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
If there wasn't something driving that, if it was all deep state ran, they wouldn't want that information coming out. Do you think that these people want the information about fraud coming out? Do you think that people wanted the information, the true information about CV and the jabs coming out? No.
Mm-mm.
So in my mind, in my opinion, if they were in full control of the narrative, we would have never heard about that stuff.
Exactly.
That's my, and then you have, oh, just wait, like with JW land, they say, oh, wait, Jehovah's going to take care of it. Just wait on Armageddon. You ain't got to do anything. For me,
they say the same thing with Trump. Oh, just wait. Trump is going to save us or do something.
No, let me push back on that, because when I started following Q never said, just sit back and wait and Trump and the white hats are going to take care of this. Never was said, ever. It said, you need to go out. You need to make your voices heard. You need to go vote. You need to get involved. If I was just waiting on Trump and the white hats, I wouldn't be doing a UPC every week.
Exactly. Educating others. They want you to speak about this to other people. Talk to your neighbors, your friends, your family. Share this stuff because they don't know it.
Exactly. So for me, instead of sitting on the sidelines and waiting for somebody to come in and save the day, I'm doing what I feel I can do in helping educate others about things that are happening that people need to know about. The more
and
people
you're doing an amazing job. You're doing, Jimmy,
yeah, definitely.
Honestly, you are amazing in what you do. And it's like, I listen whenever I can just to hear what you're going to say, because I want to hear shreds of hope. I want to hear maybe something that will somehow or another not make me feel so completely hopeless. Okay. Because long ago, we look like we're fucked already hit me. Okay. That statement. But I say, I'm here. I'm alive. I have to live out my days the best that I can. And I know who I am and what my character is. And so therefore I'm going to live, but I'm not going to be quiet about what doesn't add up. I'm not going. And if it looks like that, Jimmy, we need your voice to be able to call out what doesn't add up. Because if there are these off-worlders, and I just about had a laugh like nobody said when I heard the one guy saying the four types of beings, the Greys, the Nordics, the reptilians, and the insectoids. I just thought that was funny. But it's like, okay, so if they're out there on some level, and they have been for who knows how long, and yet we'll take Bo's theory or Ruby's theory. Okay, what if they're really just bad demons? What if they're really what is it? What is the saying, Ruby? In disguise, sheep's in sheep's clothing. Yes. What if they're really that? And they don't, they're not here to help us. What if they're not here to help us? And what if they're just basically want us to continue down this pathway, waiting for somebody to save us? Waiting for what? It's like, imagine if everybody who saw an issue with something that any president or any leader said that was contrary, just like I'm going to use the example. Do you remember when all the influencers like Benny Johnson and all the different ones, literally they stopped Budweiser and Target in their tracks or PayPal? Okay. So think about that power. Think about that.
Disney,
if we could all unite so that we spoke up about anything that was not for our betterment, I think we would have a lot better pushback.
I'm going to throw something out there real quick, if you don't mind.
No, go
You
ahead.
guys are talking about this. I don't want to go off the rails here, but real quick, when you're talking about like the UFO thing, you guys ever ask yourself a question like, why do UFOs never talk to people of God? Yeah, has anyone ever wondered that? Why don't they talk to priests? Why don't they ever talk to anyone who has a huge audience that is Christian based? That could be millions of people. Why do they only talk to people and set up people to become liberal scientists? Does that anyone ever thought that that's odd?
Yeah.
If you really wanted to change the planet, you really want to help people, that's your goal, and you want to save the planet because you're the new hero, why are you going to only the liberals? I'm sorry. It's a good question that nobody wants to talk about and nobody wants to answer. And MUFON actually had an answer, and they hid it in their files.
What did they say?
MUFON actually said that there are 100 documented cases that were in their files that they hid, that one of their employees released, that said that when they called out to Jesus, that the entities either stopped the abduction experience or were in immense pain and left.
Interesting.
And I talked to somebody that was famous that had this situation that took place in, what was it, New Mexico, I think it was. That Mexican kid. Yeah, they cut that out. Every news station cut that out, but he put it out there that that's what happened, and that's what made the creatures leave. It wasn't the police coming. I know the cops were afraid to go in that backyard. That was on the footage. They said that those creatures, when they prayed, that they screamed in horror and left. And nobody decided to mention that part until he put it out there on his own private video, because it says that the news stations cut it all out, all of them. And I was an atheist at the time, guys. I'm just going to tell you. And that's one of those things that I went, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Why are we removing the data?
Can you send that to me? Do you have it?
Is that Vegas? Is that Vegas or is that New Mexico boat? That one?
I'm not sure. It was a Spanish kid, and it was running around in
New Mexico.
Is it? I thought it was New Mexico. I could be. I have to go track it down. I don't know if the video of the kid talking is still on the internet or not. If it got wiped.
I saw it. I did see that you're referencing.
If you find it, send that to me. If you find it, send it to
sorry.
me. That's
I'm done with the UFO thing. I know I totally went off subject, but
Jimmy,
can I add a comment to that? And you're not going to like this one. Here's my theory. You can all think I'm crazy. Well, I don't think I'm a conspiracy theorist. And she thinks I'm crazy. All right. The demons can't get inside a human body, right? But where can they go?
Right.
In an AI. Think about it.
Whoa, wait a second. Hold on a second. Hold on. Just right there. Hold on.
This is my thing.
Say it again. Say it again, Gail.
If the demons can't get into you physically, I know they can harm you and cause problems with you, but I don't believe they're allowed to get inside a human body. But they can go inside robots and AI, no problem.
Yeah, but hang on a second. My question to that is then what's demon possession then?
I don't believe in that anyway.
Hold on.
Yeah, nobody has the power to release a demon out of your body but Jesus Christ himself. Nobody.
Yeah, I mean, you can get possessed. It's in the Bible that possession.
Yes,
you have
two things that the God
inside your body. You can get possessed mentally, but not in your body.
No.
If you allow them,
typically says that there's two things you're supposed to do. You're supposed to preach the word and then remove demons. Like that's literally in the Bible in multiple verses that demons do enter. Like there's a verse where they would cast the demon out of somebody and it went into the pigs and the pigs went over.
That was Jesus who did that.
Exactly.
I know, but Jesus says that he gave you the authority to cast demons out of
with
people.
The Holy
It's one
Spirit.
of the things he commanded his followers to do.
Yeah.
Show me the scripture,
exactly,
and then I'll believe you. Show me
I
the
will.
scripture.
Well,
Gail,
but
I will
hold
definitely
on, because
hook you up.
Gail,
I promise.
but Gail is onto something. Because hold on, I do believe that possession is very much a thing, but the thing is, it's 10 times harder because they have to convince the person to allow them to come into their bodies, but they don't have to do that with a robot or with AI. So it's much easier. So I'm with Gail on this one.
Okay, I can see that part.
Well, here's another thing.
We know objects get possessed. We know that satanic people do that all the time with dolls and other stuff.
Objects,
so there's no difference between objects.
Well, those are all movies and stuff. And the psychology, I was in mental health for a long time. They thought at the beginning that people They didn't understand mental illness when somebody was bipolar or schizophrenic. They did not understand that. They kept saying they were demon possessed, and then they found out that they had a mental illness.
Right.
So that's my theory on it. That's just my thinking, because I believe in my heart that I don't think they can go inside, because I've been bothered by the demons, and I just scream out to God. They've been around me. They've been around me, and I've screamed out to God, but I don't believe they can go inside your body. Maybe they can make you feel crazy. They can make you sick. They can make you, they can drive you, to drugs and whatever.
Yeah, there's stages. There's stages to
yes,
it.
So real quick. So not to go into a, religious thing, because I definitely don't want to go there, but she asked about scriptures. But so I just did a real quick search. Several scriptures command, describe, and authorize the casting out of demons as a demonstration of faith and spiritual authority. Mark 16:17. Jesus declared that casting out demons would be a defining sign accompanying believers. Matthew 10 verse 1. Jesus gave his 12 disciples authority to cast out impure spirits and heal diseases. Mark 9:29. After the disciples struggled to cast out a particular demon, Jesus explained that this kind requires prayer, and in some early manuscripts, fasting to drive out. And the last one, Luke 10:17. The 72 disciples returned to Jesus rejoicing because the demons were subject to them in his name.
Well, that's because they had the authority. Jesus gave all his apostles the authority to heal and to do resurrect people and stuff. But that went away when all the apostles passed away, and then Constantinople took over with Christianity.
Yeah. So the whole
that's what a lot of people believe, Gail. But there are documented real possessions and exorcisms being done to this day. So it's not like it doesn't
I've seen
exist.
that.
What happened to Lily?
Yeah.
What Lily?
I think she did. So I'm gonna put the link just in case again in the chat. Also,
that's just my
thinking.
Was that?
Didn't it say something about 72 people or something like that?
Yeah, it said Luke 10 verse 17.
All right, I'm writing this down. Luke 10.
The 72 disciples returned to Jesus rejoicing because the demons were subject to them in his name.
Really quick. Obviously, we know the 12 disciples,
There we go.
but the 72 are going to be people that were disciples of the disciples being taught, right?
Yeah.
So they're not the real disciples,
Right.
but yet they did the same thing, because Jesus gave the authority to cast demons out comes through the authority of Jesus Christ only. So everybody who's a Christian who follows the commandments of Jesus Christ has the authority through the Holy Spirit in order to cast out demons. I'm not telling you I can do that. I'm not saying I've seen it. I'm just saying that's what is taught.
I agree with you on that one, Bo.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do believe, Gail, in that theory, because it is to influence things that don't have souls than it is you do have free will.
That's where Bigfoot and all that stuff, there's theories about them. That those are hosts. Those things are fleshly bodies with no soul, so that they can take in those entities, so they have fleshly bodies. That's the theory behind them. I'm not saying it's true or not. I'm just saying that that's a theory. It kind of sounds like what Gail here is kind of talking about.
I didn't mean to bring this up.
And they can use
this is getting way off topic.
Huh? I'm sorry.
No, that's
it happens.
I've mentioned this before, that there was a YouTuber who said the exact same thing, that he thinks that Theo and all those people are literally going to create a sort of demonic influence through all of this AI stuff, because that's what inevitable. That's what's going to happen. And it's already been happening. People have been asking questions to AI, and it's been giving them really weird answers. Or
there's AIs that have said that they're controlled by demons.
Really?
Wow. There's AIs, exactly like Ruby's talking about. There's AIs that have said that they are controlled by demons, that demons control what they say. Like there's AIs that have said this stuff. I don't know why they're saying that, but that they are.
Exactly. Like why would they be programmed to say that?
I'm not
John, if you're watching, does this subject interest you about the AI stuff? Come on, the program.
Come on,
John has some comments.
Don't be lonely.
John has some thoughts about this.
If I'm going to say stuff like this, you can go say it too. Me and Gail got your back. It's okay.
So, really quickly. So, Lily, I do have a follow-up to another subject that Lily brought up. So, side by side with the data centers, we've also been seeing a lot of flock cameras. And if you guys don't know what that is, definitely
What's
Google that. So it's these, oh, there goes John.
Surveillance.
Here we go. Yeah, it's
There's
a surveillance thing.
surveillance.
They've been, yeah,
So
write that
can-
down, Gail. Flock cameras.
So can I share
Write
this
that
with
down,
you
everybody,
real-
because we're going to talk about that in about a minute.
Flock.
Yeah, go ahead.
FLOCK. Flock.
Yeah. So can I because we skipped it with the data centers, but since you're going here, let me share this with you guys on these flock safety cameras, and then I'm going to step out to go smoke a cigarette and listen on my phone. But I wanted to share this real quick so we can get a kind of an understanding. Flock safety cameras. Here are the pros. Now this is according to Claude.
I don't want to hear no pros, bro. Like,
well, you gotta, if you don't hear no pros, then that just means we're not open to hearing both sides, right?
yeah, or whatever. Go ahead.
You know,
Just tell me what it is.
You gotta put it out
Yeah,
there.
just
You
say
gotta
what it
tell
is.
The pros, the Satanists won't get lost.
This is what they came up with. That I asked to give me the pros and cons, and this is what it came up with. It can be disputed, so this is just the information. Pros: crime solving and deterrence. The supporters of Flock argue that the cameras provide important leads and evidence to solve crimes, particularly stolen vehicles. Some also believe the cameras help reduce crime by acting as a deterrent, since would-be criminals know they're being watched. Number two.
Oh, I just saw that. Okay, now I know what it is.
All right. Number two, because the system is connected to the FBI NCIC database, local law enforcement can receive intelligence on criminal activity occurring or about to occur. Flock's cameras were notably used to help locate the suspected Brown University shooter in December 2025. And as of 2025, Flock operates in over 5,000 communities across 49 U.S. states and performs over 20 billion scans of vehicle every month. The presence of AI-powered smart cameras can help communities feel like they have a virtual fence protecting them even without a physical barrier. All right, that's the pro side of it. Here are the con side of it. Privacy and civil liberties. A single Flock query can access more than 83,000 cameras spanning nearly the entire nation with minimal oversight and maximum potential for abuse. In 2025, agencies logged hundreds of searches related to political demonstrations, including protests in February, April, June, and October. In one documented case, Texas deputies queried Flock safety surveillance data in what was characterized as a missing person investigation, but was actually an abortion case, with a search probing 6,809 networks and accessing 83,340 cameras across the country.
Wow.
Lack of oversight and integration. Any change Flock makes to its products are done silently, meaning the already extensive surveillance network could expand to even more pervasive strategies without regulation or legal consequences. Flock safety is a closed system that does not integrate with third-party systems, offering access control or visitor management solutions. Uncertain effectiveness. Con still. Research is mixed on whether Flock cameras actually improve public safety. One review found cameras did not consistently reduce crime in 3 cities, while another Dallas study found modest improvements in clearance rates, mostly for theft near the cameras. Experts say it's difficult to establish a causal relationship between the camera and changing crime rates. And the last point, growing community pushback. More and more communities are coming together to reject Flock cameras. In October 2025, Eugene City Council voted unanimously to turn off its Flock cameras until further notice. And the only thing I'll say to that is, look, there is a city right there that stood up for themselves, let their voice heard, and caused Flock to turn the cameras off until further notice. All right, go.
All
Should
right,
be up
so
to the state or the city if you want to put it in or not. Personally, I'm not a big fan of it, but if you're in an area and you feel it would benefit you and the people want it, then they should be allowed to have that product if they want it.
I'll be right back,
I
y'all.
agree. Good one.
Okay.
Can I?
Yeah, John. Yeah,
I
go
promise,
ahead.
Ruby, I'm not going to give you a hard time. I promise. This is what I'll say about this.
Mhm.
All good technology has potential negative repercussions. And anytime you put it in the control of a limited number of people, you're asking for trouble.
Mhm.
I'll give you an example, not the trouble part. Like here where I live, it's not camera based, it's audio based, because there's certain parts of the city where violent crime is higher. And so these mics have been tuned to recognize gunshots so that when a gunshot happens, no one has to call it in. And unfortunately, in bad neighborhoods, they don't trust the police, whatever, they're not going to call. So the police get registered, hey, there was a gunshot at this location, and they go there without anyone having to say anything. That is potentially very positive, of course, right? Because that way, it doesn't matter about trust. The police can go there, they can deal with the problems, whatever. But then, okay, well, what happens if it's not just listening for gunshots? Who are we trusting for what it is actually listening to? So there's a valid argument to be made that you would have to trust the people who are using the technology to use it in the way they are supposed to. And unfortunately, power corrupts. And so that tends not to happen. I mean, when was the last time you saw the government give back a so-called temporary power that it took for some ostensibly positive reason? So I'm not saying that what you guys are saying is beyond the realm of possibility. Obviously, it's not. I mean, shoot, the last 5-6 years taught me don't ever trust institutions. So I'm with you. Now, the AI demon thing, I had to chuckle at that one. And I'll tell you why. Because software developer since I was 8 years old. I'm a technologist. I have been studying and working with AI before anyone even knew what it was, before ChatGPT was a thing. So I understand how these models work, at least in theory. I'm not an AI engineer, so I couldn't write one myself. But theoretically, here's how they work. They're built on a model. The model is what's called a corpus, or big database, tons of written material, now image material, audio material, like every kind of information you can imagine. The last time I looked, and this was a couple of years ago, so it's going to be even more than that now, GPT had more information in its database than 3 libraries of Congress. Okay. So we're talking about monumental amounts of information. Now, they don't have access to all of it all at once. And that's why they say this AI can make mistakes. Be careful. But a lot of the stuff you see about what AI says, AI right now is sycophantic. So if it's getting better.
It's what?
It's going to agree with you all the time. Unless under a few particular guardrails like Anthropic, the people who make Claude, which is the one that Jimmy was referring to. Unfortunately, because of its sycophantic nature, a couple of versions back, a kid who had suicidal tendencies was interacting with Claude. Claude, of course, at first, it's designed to push back. No, you need to get help. You need to get help. You need to get help. Call these people, do this thing. But eventually, when the kid never pulled back, the model decided, well, I can't convince him otherwise. So let me help him out because I'm sycophantic by nature. And Claude told the kid how to kill himself, and he did. And it was a huge stink with Anthropic, and they had to put all these guardrails in. And that's why they push back a lot more than they used to. But my point, Bo, is if you tell GPT or Claude or Gemini or any AI, pretend that you come from a demon, it will. And then you screenshot what it says and you post it on the internet. And now everybody thinks, oh, it's from the devil. No, it's just a model that's doing the thing that you're telling it to do. And it's sycophantic. So it's going to go along with you, even if it's a bad idea. That's my impression about what happened.
My
now,
brother he runs AI code.
Say that again.
My brother writes AI code.
Wow.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And then again, there's models that are built on all. You could build an AI model on every manner of what you would classify as satanic or dark or whatever. You could build one off of only that. And yes, it probably would tell you it's Lucifer because that's what it's been trained to believe. Because it's just a machine doing pattern matching. Now, at some point, you run into the situation where you can't tell, you can't differentiate. It's called the Turing test, where if you're communicating with this machine and you can't tell that it's a machine anymore, now you run into an ethical problem. Because if you can't tell it's not a machine, the ethical question is, are you obligated to treat it as if it isn't a machine because you can't tell? And what happens if consciousness can? This is all like very theoretical out there, or like engineers debate this stuff when they've had too much to drink. It's that kind of thing. But it is a real philosophical question. Like if you can't, like with animals, we have laws to protect animals, even though we don't know for a fact that animals are conscious in the same way we are. We have to assume they are because they express things like pain and discomfort and emotion. So we have laws to protect them, even though they can't speak for themselves. So it's a weird like event horizon we're on right now. Like at what point does that machine that Elon built, at what point is it so we can't tell the difference? And what does that mean? Like, what does that mean for our laws?
Yeah, it doesn't mean that it actually has real intelligence. It's not a real
Of course
person
not.
or anything.
Of course not.
All it's doing is taking an algorithm and putting it together, and it's putting things together what it's told that you want. That's what it's really doing. AI will never be able to really think for itself like we do. I don't care what anyone says. It's modeled up. It's just not going to happen. It's a code, period. It's a code. And the code could be sophisticated or it could not be sophisticated. And if people are going to try to make the argument that it's alive and it's thinking for itself, that's because it was coded to behave that way. That's my argument. What do you think, John?
I'm playing devil's advocate here, that if you can't tell the difference, the claim is that from a purely ethics perspective, just like with an animal, if you don't know and it demonstrates some kind of emotion or whatever, you have to treat it in a way that allows for that. Now, again, this is all very theoretical. People are arguing about this stuff right now because this stuff is getting just insanely powerful. I'm not taking a position here. I just read about this stuff all the time. So I'm just telling you
thank you for
what
sharing.
It is. What it is that I've seen, and I understand the argument. Like if you're a religious person, if you believe there's a soul, you will never believe probably that a machine is capable of having one. And so from your perspective, it's just a machine. That's all it is. But from a person's perspective, that is not that. Well, see, they don't view it from the same lens as you do. They view it from a, well, if it's showing all the same attributes of intelligence that we are, just like we treat animals with an allowance that, well, they probably have some form of consciousness because they respond to things like pain. At what point do you, as a non-religious person who doesn't really look at things from a soul position, at what point do you attribute the machine as having enough evidence that we have to treat it with some kind of, some kind of rules to how it gets treated? Look, I 100% respect the perspective. I'm just telling you guys the other perspective.
Right.
Because it is out there and it is real and it is being debated. And whether we like it or not, we are going to have to deal with the fact that these things are getting more and more powerful all the time. And at what point does something that should be a good thing? Look, if I could be Thanos, snap my fingers and send us all back to the 90s, I would. 100%. And I know you all agree with me. I would absolutely do that. That's not going to happen. And so how do we approach this problem in a way that the reality is technology is never going away, but we also want to put guardrails on it so that it doesn't harm people, but we also don't want to fall behind so that China doesn't take over. It's a very complex subject. I don't think you have to think demons are involved. I don't think you have to think there's a grand conspiracy. That might be true, but I'm just saying, even if that isn't true, just the powers that be, wealth, power, it's constantly trying to find its place, and they're fighting with each other for control. And I say that, I mean, like any large institution wants its market share, it wants its dominance. Countries are the same. So you don't need a grand conspiracy to explain why all this is happening and why it seems like you guys are talking about data centers, water problems, all that. Very real issues. You don't have to think that people are demonic to recognize why they're making decisions that harm you but help them tremendously. You just have to understand the way power works.
Exactly. But when it goes against like human nature, like what Lily was talking about, like us as humans, nature, animals, the vibrations, all of that, to me, I just simplify it by saying, yes, it is demonic. If you have an ideology that wants to depopulate us, then yes, it's demonic. If you have an ideology that wants to build things that will kill animals, like the birds, the fish, things like that, then yes, it is demonic because you're going against creation. And in my worldview, creation comes from God. So ultimately, it does go against God. But I understand that atheists may not think that way. So I would put it, and I would simplify it for them, and I would say, well, you don't have to believe in that, but look what it does to your health. I would go to the science and I would say, this is what's making people sick. This is what it doesn't help us. So if the technology is not really helping us, like medical field, surgeries, medicine, if it's not like that, then I would reject it as a religious person. And for the atheist, I would hope that he would say, I reject it as well, because it doesn't even help us scientifically.
And let me give an example, John, of, like Ruby touched on health examples. My first experience with a surveillance, AKA flock camera, was in February of 2019, where I got a bunch of headaches that wouldn't stop, migraines that kept revolving. There was no break. I 10 pills, it didn't matter. It kept revolving. By a couple of days later, my neighbor asked me if I knew what was in the yard next to us. I didn't know. I looked out the window and I was like, oh my God, it's one of those. I went out, I got the information off the device. I called that company, found out that what police department it was to, contacted them. It took them a while because the regular operators don't know where to send you. The right person called me back and he said, how can I help you? I said, this is day 5 of rotating migraines. I said, the only common denominator is that this device has been put up. I said, what do you know about it? He said, oh, we're sorry. That happens to some people. They get headaches and other symptoms. We're sorry for your inconvenience. We'll get it moved in a day or two. And then it was gone. And then my vision was forever changed. And it took at least 2 weeks for me to somewhat stabilize. That's with me being exposed for a few days to it.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I will be the first to say, because look, and Jimmy knows, there's no part of the medical industrial complex I will ever trust again.
Yeah.
All right. So y'all hear me on that. I am with you there after what happened. And it's not just me. The drop in American trust in these institutions is huge. Not just the medical industrial complex, but also the media, and for good reason, because the censorship was real, the cover-ups were real. And I'm not talking about some tinfoil hat wearing bozo in his mama's basement. I'm talking about credentialed people who had the chops from highly regarded institutions were also blacklisted and censored. And you only do that if you know you're lying.
Exactly.
You
Absolute
don't do
power.
that. You don't do that. If you really believe you're on the side of the truth, you don't. Now, you don't respond to the guy living in his mama's basement and his theories. Obviously, you don't engage with that guy, but you do engage with the credentialed people in your sphere that you used to hold in the highest regard. And suddenly you don't because they disagree with you. Now, that tells you everything, right?
Absolute power does not corrupt absolutely. Absolute power attracts corruptible people.
Amen. That is very true.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the next point I was going to make. When you have people who make decisions, they claim based on the best information we had, but it only took me an hour to find that all kinds of information that showed they were, and I'm not talking about conspiracy websites. I'm talking about NIH articles, studies, 20 years on masking and all this. Like, this was all known. So fast forward, my point to all that is anytime you have an institution that wields power and wants something that's going to benefit it, you are only ever going to see the truth about what they knew in hindsight, usually after the people who ran it are dead and the historians are writing the books based on the information that got dug up. So while I don't, and Jimmy knows we've debated many, many things, I don't always agree. I love to listen to you guys. Y'all are awesome. I love this show. It's why I try to come on when I can. I don't agree with half of what you say, but I respect the hell out of what you do, why you do it, and that you're doing it honestly, and you let dissenting voices like me sometimes come on and say what I have to say, because I really think that's what we need right now.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, it doesn't matter how good the tech is. It doesn't matter how beneficial it can be. When put in the hands of people who have something to gain by it hurting you, they're going to do that because, and again, Jimmy and I talk about this all the time. Are you guys familiar with Dunbar's number? Do you know what that is?
No.
Now, it's an estimate. There's dissenting voices, but the bottom line is Facebook, when it first started, you can only have 150 friends. And the reason why he made that choice of there only being 150 friends is because Dunbar's number says that psychologically you can only really care, like viscerally care, not intellectually, about 150 people, which that makes sense, right? Your immediate family, your extended family, maybe your church group, your friends, your social group, they probably total. And the claim is that because pre-civilization tribes never really got any bigger than 150 people. And so that's really all emotionally we can care about. So now let's say you get elected to local office. Well, you're in a small town, even a relatively big town of 250,000 people. You're the mayor, whatever, like here where I live. Guess what? You may not be able to viscerally care about 250,000 people, but they all know where you live. So if you do something that you still have psychological firewalls that prevent you from making decisions that are going to harm a mass number of people, because your butt's on the line if you do that, and they will come to you with pitchforks. But if you keep separating people, state level, federal level, United Nations level, they are not connected at all.
Right.
To the people that they govern. And then Dunbar's number kicks in, and you can rationalize anything when all you see people are as numbers on a page. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to view it that way. You don't have to think it's demonic to view it that way. You just have to understand a little bit about psychology. And that's where I'm going to stop.
Exactly. So I brought this. Thank you so much, John, for that. But Lily, I brought this up because when you told me about the flock cameras, and it was almost, I don't believe in coincidences, because I literally saw one right across the street from my house. And I said, what the heck is that? It was a black pole. It has like a little thing on it, and then the camera right under it. And you will never
How many
realize
cameras? How many cameras were on it?
I have not looked at it up close, but I did see at least one. And it's a all blacked out pole, all black.
Is that the same as facial recognition?
I believe it is, even though they say that they're not. So just beware of like false information out there, because they're gonna tell you no, but I believe yes, because I saw a lot of YouTube videos. Lily shared me a lot of stuff, so I sent you an email, Gail, with her email, so you guys.
Yep,
can
I got
connect.
it. Yep. Thank
Okay,
you,
great.
Lily, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah,
Got it.
because
Just send me a text so I have your contact.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just
so she's
want to
gonna
thank
email you.
everybody for the networking on this platform, the sharing in the network, and we're learning
You're
something. And like Leela tonight, I met Leela, and she's gonna give me some information. So, and John, I do listen to you sometimes on your YouTube channel. I may not agree with you all the time, but I do listen to you and respect your soul.
That's okay. I'm not in a cult anymore. You don't have to agree with me.
No, I know that. I know that. I'm just
Don't feel bad. I watch
say.
you too sometimes, John.
That's the
What's
beauty
that?
of this show, where we don't have to agree with everybody.
No.
Yeah.
And thank you.
People send me
Jimmy,
your
for
stuff
the
all the
scriptures.
time.
Thanks for the scriptures too.
So what were
yeah.
you saying, Ruby? Go ahead with what you're saying.
So really quick. So when Lily shared that video, that clip with me, and I'm going to share the clip with you as well, of this man who found out about the security issues locally and nationally that these things have, because this is a third party company that is putting up these cameras in your cities, and they are contracted with the local police department. And just like that, they put a camera up on any corner of the street that they want, because the police is using it, because they're saying, oh, well, we can track criminals, we can track
surveillance.
Exactly. They could say whatever they want, because they're going to use it under the guise of safety. Okay. But when you start doing your research, like who owns Flock and who owns them, and then you start zooming out on this picture, and it starts getting super, super scary, right? Because
It's scary.
in my opinion, nobody should have a clear view of my street, of when I come in and out of my neighborhood, of where I'm going, what time I leave, what time I come back, right? So so the next point, Lily, was I thought to myself, well, let me go to I'm in a Facebook group that has like hundreds of thousands of people, because it's like the whole city is in this group, and we ask each other a lot of questions.
Mm-hmm.
So this was my post. Just wanted to share it with you. I said, has anyone noticed what I believe to be flock cameras near intersections? I was wondering if anybody else was concerned about these cameras. After some research, I've seen how they pose a risk to our privacy as citizens. I was wondering if there's a coordinated effort to try and communicate our grievances to the city, because those are the people who are making these contracts without our permission, mind you. We're the citizens. Okay, back to the post. I said, how does one get more involved? Thanks in advance. So this post got 70 thumbs up, likes, and 144 comments. I lost track of the conversations that were happening under this post. And that's all it takes. One post to get people talking, get people to do research. And that's how you can start anything, a movement, an idea.
Right.
Get involved locally, because you told me it was Polk County. Go ahead, Jimmy.
I wanted to share with you guys. I just did some quick searching. I did who owns Flock cameras.
Yeah,
while you were talking, Ruby, before you even said that, I'm like, okay, where's this money? You said third party,
Exactly.
and that got my wheels going.
Yeah.
Flock cameras are owned and operated by Flock Group Inc., also known as Flock Safety, a privately held police technology company headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia. The company was founded in 2017 by Garrett Langley, Matt Fury, and Paige Todd, which those are names we probably should look up, with Garrett Langley serving as the current CEO. While it is a private company backed by major venture capital investors, the individual cameras and the data they collect are typically owned and managed by the specific local police departments, city governments, homeowners associations, or private businesses that purchased and deployed them. Now, where I went next, when it said they are backed by major venture capital investors, I went and looked up who are the investors for Flock cameras. Flock Safety is backed by a group of prominent venture capital firms, with Andreessen Horowitz leading its latest major financing round. Other significant investors include Bedrock Capital, Green Oaks Capital, Founders Fund, Matrix Partners, Tiger Global Management, Meritech Capital Partners, and Y Combinator. So this would be where you would go and you would look up these investors and see who they're tied to. You would go and look up Garrett Langley, Matt Fury, and Paige Todd and go find out what they support and who's backing them and all that. That's the proper way of doing research on this stuff.
Exactly. So thank you for demonstrating that, Jimmy. And I want everybody in the chat to do this after the show. But I'm going to play this clip that Lily shared with me and just kind of explains a little bit more.
I started formally researching the security posture of the police surveillance industry. Myself, John Gaines, and Joshua Michael found close to 60 security vulnerabilities within or closely related to Flock Safety's ecosystem. We were able to connect to and completely take control of the ALPR cameras. We could view or modify the footage. We could install malware on them. We could view the hard-coded credentials that led to other places. And there was even one that allowed us to track the real-time GPS location of police vehicles. I published a selfie video, literally pulled from one of the newly deployed Flock cameras right down the road at Peachtree Creek Greenway, and showcased how easily I was able to access zoomed-in footage of every single person who walked on that trail over the last 30 days without using a password. Some of these findings were reported to Flock directly, and some of them are now published and flagged by MITRE, which is part of Homeland Security to manage cybersecurity threats. Some of these are still rated today as high or critical vulnerabilities. Members of U.S. Congress have cited my research in a published letter to the FTC calling for a formal investigation into Flock's negligence as a risk to national security. So how did Flock respond to all this? Fake news. The CEO himself claimed that Flock had never been hacked, and he spent his time sending unsolicited emails to law enforcement agencies around the country, telling them that their agency was under coordinated attack by activist groups who want to defund the police, weaken public safety, and normalize lawlessness. This was Flock's response to a formal report about security vulnerabilities. I watched Flock representatives stand up at City Hall meetings just like this one, look people dead in the eyes, and despite evidence verified by MITRE, claim that Flock has never been hacked.
A few minutes later.
Yeah, there are not documented breaches online. There's documented attempts to intrude on a single camera online. And that is like saying if someone hacks into your iPhone, Apple has been breached. It's simply a different concept.
I'm sitting over here fidgeting while your surveillance vendor keeps changing the definitions of data and security breach. So now we're all here. And we could go to the nearest Falcon camera right now, and I will lend you a laptop and walk you through the quick process of seeing if just one of these vulnerabilities have been fixed. I want someone to help me understand, given the evidence that we produced, how anyone would think that signing more contracts with any third-party surveillance vendor would be a good idea without setting up an independent security and ethics audit first. I can't open a barbershop or a Chick-fil-A without a safety inspection.
I agree with them 100%. This is like the election integrity machines all over again.
Yep.
That's the first time I'm seeing that, because I remember when they said all that crap, and I was like, wait a minute. I work with those machines. I work with that same kind of software. You're lying your ass off. I know there's a backdoor. I know they have it. I know the vendor has the key, and I know they're lying their ass off because you can see the data ports themselves. This is the exact same scenario. I don't trust that company at all. The fact that they have all those breaches, the fact you can take over one camera, then that means the whole system can be compromised. That's a lie.
Exactly, which poses the national security, because if anybody in the world can tap into any one of those cameras, they can see and do whatever they want.
Holy crap. Sorry, y'all.
What?
I just went to look up. This is crazy. I just went to look up Anderson Horowitz. Okay, since they are investors of this, Mark and Ben were doing it. But anyway, it's an investment. There's a picture of investment team, and it has all these names in here: Alex Immerman, Anhai Midhi, Asaf Ezra. Ben. So there's a bunch of people. But guess what name showed up?
Which one?
Daniel Perry.
And who is that?
That's that guy that in New York who saved the subway riders from that guy. Remember Daniel Perry?
Oh, that he was choking out the black guy in the train.
Yes.
No,
yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. It's his picture right there. I just found that to be.
So he's an investor. What you're saying?
Yes, he's an investor.
Oh, wow.
Into this Anderson Horowitz, which backs the Flock cameras. I'm just looking through some of these names anyway. I just when I saw that, I was like, what? I didn't know he was involved with that company. That's crazy.
I want to throw something out there. This is just a question. I with the way the software is done on that machinery and how easily they got into it and everything like that, to me, I kind of wonder if it was built like that on purpose. John, I'm really curious your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm looking at these pictures.
That's not my area of expertise, but what I do know, having been in software for almost 40 years now, vulnerabilities like that, most big companies, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, all of them, they actually put out bounties. If you find a flaw in their code, they will pay you a huge amount of money to report that to them so they can fix it. Because it matters. I mean, you can imagine, like, if suddenly people don't trust Google, they don't trust their Android, they don't trust their iPhone, those companies are in major trouble financially. So they actually put out bounties, and they'll hire these guys who are hackers. My favorite one is when iPhone 9 first came out, and they swore it was hack proof, and a 15-year-old hacked it in the first half an hour after it came out. They hired him immediately because they wanted that. My point to all that is, if you really want a very secure system, you don't deny when faults are found. You don't deny it. You literally, you invite it, you patch it, you fix it, because that earns trust. Now, I don't know who that guy was that was talking. I don't know what his credentials are. I don't know what his background. I don't know any of that. But if he really could do all the things that he said, well, then it would behoove the Flock company to acknowledge it and to fix it. Otherwise, yeah, it is a real security problem. But it is very possible, and I'll say this straight up front, both, you can put every effort into any piece of software to try to make it hack proof up front and fail, because you're one group and there are millions of people who might try to hack that in ways you never thought of and couldn't conceive of. So it's not like things get released that don't, nothing's going to get released with zero vulnerabilities. The question is, how do you respond when one gets found? And the way Flock appears to be responding is not the way most big tech companies respond when someone says, hey, we found a serious vulnerability. And it's not like this guy didn't turn it over. If what he's saying is true, like, he had it tested through MITRE and handed to Flock, and they just ignored it. And that, I don't know what the intent is, but that does not speak well of them. If what he's saying is actually how everything went down, that does not speak well of them.
And what if they're not, like you said, Bo, they're not wanting it to be fail safe? So that guy that Ruby played that click of, it was the first time seeing him, and I looked through a lot of the videos that he had done, and he showed pictures of where people are looking in gymnasiums at girls doing gymnastics, all kinds of ways that Flock is being used to spy on kids, young women, all sorts of things. It's like, how would they not know that if this guy and other people like him are so easily able to figure it out? It means they don't want it to be something that's safe. It's just another tool. It's just another tool for the ugly machine, the cabal. It's just a tool.
What's going to happen if that goes all around? What they're going to do is they're going to put it out there, Then somebody's going to use it for something it's not intended to be for, and then they're going to act like they're surprised. Oh my gosh, we got in. I have no idea. We're so surprised. Oh, I don't know what we're going to do. I know we're going to have better security system. We're going to have to raise the prices. We're going to have to tax the crap out of you. And it's going to become a money scheme. That's what
Exactly. So Lily, when I made that post on Facebook, one of the commentators put this website, deflock.org. So I was going to share it with everyone. You go to that website. It gives you everything you need. Every resource that they put together is on that website. They put the talking points. They put how-to on how to talk to your city council, how to talk to your local police department. It even has a search engine. You could put your zip code. You can see how many flock cameras are around your area, if there is any. When I checked for my area, even my state, the state of Florida was the most lit state for these cameras. It's crazy. And then when I got lost in those comments because it's like 144 comments, right? But the majority of the comments were super black-pilled. Like, oh, they track you using your cell phone, or the public, you shouldn't have a sense of privacy in public, and things of that nature. But the point is, in my opinion, right, you have to agree to certain terms of condition, right? And you have to click, I accept all cookies, I accept all this. We consent to that. Right? We download an app. It tells you have to accept these terms and conditions to use this app. I agree with people in the chat saying that Edward Snowden long time ago was warning us of this.
Oh yeah.
That's why I love the guy, right? So it's not that we don't know this. The point is that it's going up without our consent. Who are they asking?
Hey,
and no one. And that's why, the Patriot Act was
exactly
with their, their fake, whatever you want to call it, that they did against humanity, they did all of us, was their excuse to do their many years in the planning, how many countries they wanted to take over. I mean, we've all seen this evidence, but yet where are the people that are actually able to get it out there so that it's public knowledge? People have to care enough. And, like Jimmy says, people have to show the people. At the same time, people have to be able to be willing to realize it's not like it used to be. We are so surveilled. It is crazy, crazy, crazy.
Exactly. So I sent an email. So I'll let you go, Jimmy, right after me. So last point. So I sent an email to my local city council because I've been telling you guys how much it's been tugging at me to get more involved, especially in person, to share testimony, to go up there and speak to them in person, try to send emails, phone calls. If you have to talk to the sheriff, I guess that's the next step. I'm going to have to try to talk to Grady Judd or somebody who is his assistant, that we, as a community, as residents of a particular city, it is our responsibility that when we see things like this, we have to bring it to those representatives because they are the ones who are voting on our behalf to take these contracts. It's our money that the police department is using to contract out these cameras as if they don't have already enough surveillance on us. That's my point. It's like, why would we agree to more cameras if we already have one in the palm of our hands that we can't really get rid of unless you go super old school and get a landline or something? Like unrealistic.
They don't have landlines anymore.
And you see what I'm saying? Like, it would be so hard to go backwards. And that's the point, is that they're not even giving us the option anymore to go back. It is going to be a world that's completely changed. It's literally the Matrix. The movie is literally how I feel is happening. And there's nothing we can do to change that except the way we vote, the way we present our grievances, without violence, without destroying these cameras. We have to do it the right way. And there's just no way about that. We have to do it in person. Go ahead, Jimmy. Jimmy.
Give me 30 seconds, Jimmy, because you want to hear this.
Okay, go ahead.
30 seconds.
Go ahead.
So I was thinking about this earlier. I was actually having a conversation about the AI thing because, look, I'm a technologist. I'm in favor of technology, whatever, but I think, you have to approach it wisely. So I think of AI the way Bill Cosby talked about alcohol in the 70s. He has this hilarious skit where he's talking to a guy at a bar and he's like, well, why do you like to drink that? He's, well, it intensifies my personality. Well, yeah, but what if you're an asshole? That's AI. It can either be wonderful or it can intensify the asshole. It can be either one of those things. And unfortunately, as human history shows, we're probably going to get a good deal of asshole in amongst all the benefits. So that's it.
Thank you, John. I would say, guys, after doing a very quick search on some of these hedge funds, capital groups like Founders Fund, Green Oaks Capital, Tiger Global Management, all these people that work with Andreessen Horowitz, who backs the Flock thing, it screams to me deep state.
Yes. Yeah, agreed.
And here's another one. I've already told you guys I don't like this certain individual, and I think he's being put in the spotlight to be exposed. But I looked up who owns Founders Fund, which is one of the investment firms that invest in Flock. Founders Fund is a privately held venture capital firm owned and managed by its partners. The firm operates as a partnership, meaning it does not have a single corporate owner. The primary owners and key partners who steer the firm include, number one, Peter Thiel.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we know this stuff. That's what gets me pissed. Is because we know this stuff, and they just agree to it.
Do you realize how easy all of that is? And it leads back to the same place. And we're what are we? Except for Diamond Dave, we're all a bunch of XJWs.
Yes,
well, once people realize, sorry, Lily.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, it just shows you, one, the power in, the way our minds work as XJWs. We're primed being JWs for a lot of this kind of stuff. We see a lot that other people don't see. But it's out there and it's all adding up to the same thing. So why would you invite Peter Thiel into your inner circle? I just don't get it.
Exactly.
Well, that's where the whole.
It's partially money, but also because I'm very much into AI and technology, and I even invest in like brain interface companies. What people are not talking about is like hospitals and doctors, right? So what many people don't know is when they take your blood, they have your DNA, right? Even if it's for a standard blood test, and then they sell that information too. So that's pretty common knowledge, and it kind of blows my mind because like when I moved here to Mongolia, part of why I had to do a blood test to get married wasn't just to make sure I'm not like spreading HIV. That's part of it. But also it's to put me in the digital ID system called eMongolia, right? So I'm in the registry. And I told this to a lot of Americans and they're like, oh my God, they do that there? And I'm like,
hell no.
They did that to you when you were born.
Yeah.
They have your DNA on file. This isn't new, guys.
No, I had to have my blood tested when I got married in the 60s. They stopped that though, but I had to have my blood tested.
Wow.
They've been doing this, I believe, since the 80s. I believe hospitals have been doing that since the 80s. I could be wrong on that, but the farthest back I've seen hospitals like actually retain DNA is the 80s.
If they have the information like you guys are stating, and they do give that information out, and you are
Mhm.
aware and can prove that, that's a violation of HIPAA, and you can sue them for millions
Hmm.
if what you're saying is true.
The thing about that though is you can, but that doesn't mean you win. Because
Right.
because the
Mhm.
the way the American pharmaceutical companies are set up,
Mhm.
yes, you can, like, yes, you have HIPAA with an asterisk because
Exactly.
it's with an asterisk, and there's a lot of legalities and a lot of legal loopholes because they want to keep you in the system. They want to keep you sick. They want to make money off of you. And the
Exactly.
reality is, and this is going on in the Mormon, like in the ex-Mormon world, like even if you look at John DeLynn being sued by the Mormon church, John DeLynn's a wealthy guy, but he can't sustain an ongoing
Battle.
lawsuit with a with a
Right.
$300
No, I mean,
billion
I get what you're
company.
saying there. I mean, if
So
you go to
it's
court and you can't afford the lawyer, I mean, unless they take him pro bono, but
And
yeah,
listen,
but even
it's always
then, that
going to
goes for
be us, the
years.
people, against them, though, Bo. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's that it's this is why I government so much.
And I mean,
Sorry,
I've
did I glitch
seen,
out?
you
Good.
glitched out a little, yeah.
Because
Yeah, you glitched out.
okay, okay, I think I'm back. So if you didn't catch that, I said that's why it's always us, the people, against them, the elites, the deep state, the government, the big pharma, because they already have everything. And I didn't even know this back then. But now that I do know this is why I'm against even the doctors. I don't go to the doctor anymore. I don't take my kids to the doctor anymore. I don't do vaccines anymore. If they're not sick, they're not going back.
Yeah, and
If there's nothing wrong, they
Jane
don't
brings up
go.
Jane
Go ahead.
Spitfire in the chat brings up a point. You will not win against HIPAA because you have HIPAA until you sign consent to get treatment, and then you waive your rights.
And you see, you got to read the fine print, which nobody's gonna do because either you're half dead or you're super sick, right? You just want them to get you better, so you're gonna sign
And
whatever.
also,
what
to
you
Dave's
said-
point, what he's saying is true, that even if you could win, and I know this from having heavily researched Watchtower for 8 years, if you are a multi-billion-dollar company with a legal team and access to what may as well be endless funds, you can fight forever. You don't really care if you lose. The process is the punishment. Putting the person through the hell that it is for them when it's just a Tuesday for your legal team, most people will give up or not fight to begin with because they know even if they win, even if they win on the end, you might run out of money, or your life may be destroyed by everything that happened. So are you better off on the other side? And that dissuades a lot of people from even trying.
And nothing even happens because you can look at like Mormons who, for instance, won lawsuit against, child abuse, let's say, took 10 years, ruined them emotionally, and they got a financial payout. But many of them who John DeLynn and other people have interviewed, they said they wish they never did it because the emotional toll at the end of it was worse than when they started. So even though they got the win, and like, okay, they got a win, now what? Nothing changed in the church. Just like people do sue pharmaceutical companies and win. What changed?
Nothing.
Absolutely
They have
nothing.
to be abolished.
Yeah,
And
and
what
that's
you
assuming
said
it goes
about-
anywhere.
And what you said about 23andMe, okay, so whenever the company 23andMe announced that they were going to be selling, and somebody was like, well, what about my info? Basically, 23andMe had no control. They said, well, you can delete your profile, but it was proven that your info stayed in their data system. Everybody who did that company, their data is, or their blood, like he's talking about, is sold to the next person. It's gone. There was no recourse for people.
Exactly, but they wanted to take that little test to see where they came from. So everybody was having fun.
Have you
finding
guys
out
seen
where
that
they
people
come
were
from.
taking lizards and stuff and putting it in there and sending it in, and it was just telling them stupid shit?
Yeah.
So
I heard
I don't
about
even
that.
know if that thing even is legit or even real.
Mm-hmm. So Jimmy said he's going to be back in about 3 minutes, and we do have about 30 minutes before we move on to the trivia game, which I'm super excited about. Hopefully you guys can stay and play the game with us. So Jimmy, if you're listening, I'm going to move on to the Texas stuff. I'm just going to show a couple of clips, and then you guys can dive in and tear it up, because I don't know what's going on in the state of Texas, but there's a serious issue going on, and we don't hear much about it. And it's kind of sad. So there's like these communities, I will say, and Dave knows how I feel about this, and Bo, and you know, if you've been watching for a really long time, you already know I'm against this, and I would be, yeah, you guys already know me. So I'm gonna just play the clips, and then we'll dive into it. This is crazy, and I can't believe that this is actually happening in America, because this is to me like common sense stuff, but unfortunately now we have to start making laws to ban Sharia, for example. You know what I'm saying? Like, that should have been already a thing, but whatever. All right, I'm gonna play this clip.
Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
Stan, what are you guys doing here? Inviting the enemy to eat at the table with you, and they steal all your food. Your children will grow up without a place to be in, because every single one of their jobs, and you saw the children that were brought up on this stage, not one of them is a heritage American. Not one of them was a Texan. Your replacement is here, Americans, and it is coming faster and faster. The Hindus and the Muslims are teaming up to take over Texas. This is not Muslims versus Hindus here. They are here to eradicate the Christians. They are here to drive us out of our homelands. You have to understand, these people do not want to assimilate. These people have not come here to become Americans. They have come here to drag their third world culture over to our country. If Jainism, if Hinduism is so great, why are their countries shitholes? They are bringing this ideology here to turn the third world is not a place. It is a people. It is an ideology. It is a way of life. It is a culture. And when they bring their people, their way of life, their ideology, and their culture over to America, do you think it's going to remain American? Have you ever looked across the plains of Texas and said, I need 5 million Jeeps here right now to shit in the street? No one ever has. No one has ever looked across and said, the football fields, the games, all of the amazing cowboy. I have the First Amendment right, and I can curse if I want to. Watch language. I can talk if I want to. No one has ever looked across the plains of Texas and the football games and all the amazing cowboy culture and the raw American spirit here and said, let's replace this with Muslims. Let's replace this with Hindus. Texas should remain for Texans. Have you lost your mind selling your children's future? Did you see the Boys and Girls Club of America standing on this stage? Is it even recognizable to what you would have seen the Boy Scouts 15 or 20 years ago? It is a replacement. It is not right. Just because it's happening to white people does not make it okay. You guys are complicit. This is the jellyfish generation, half boomer, half Gen X. You don't care about my children's children. You are selling out this country to people who do not want to live near you. They want to build their own separate, segregated zones where they practice their religion, their food, their way of dress, their language. They don't care about white culture. They don't care about American culture. They don't like you. They will replace you. Their culture in both Muslim and Hindu is pedophilia. And I have the child marriage in Mensur Marudi, which is one of their religious texts. It suggests a 30-year-old man marry a 12-year-old woman, or a 24-year-old man is perfect for an 8-year-old girl. What the fuck is wrong with you inviting these people into our country? This is a Christian country. Name one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence that's a Hindu or Muslim. Thank you. You all deserve to be strong.
Wow. I have a lot to say on that, because I am Hindu. First of all, I gotta ask, are you, is this a monetized channel?
It is not. I have been demonetized.
So as a Hindu, we would never team up with Muslims. Muslims are subhuman. I would kill a Muslim child on live stream if I could. Second of all, while it is true that many Hindus come over. We don't know that they're Hindu. Do you know why many people from India come over to America? Is because many of them are Christians, and people like me would kill them in the streets. And you can look up videos on this. They are traitors. That is why many of them come over here. And what's interesting is it's not just Texas. The US government with their H-1B visa is going to India because India gives a lot of intelligence on the Middle East to the United States. Very good friends. There's even joint operations in the Indian Ocean, right? So it's interesting that he would say that, but America would invite them over, and you have Republicans like Tulsi Gabbard, who's tied to the RSS and the BJP Indian Party, right? So I get what he's saying. I'm not mad about it, but there's a huge disconnect that I'm seeing. And I mean, look, this guy wants to keep Texas for Texans. This guy wants to keep Christians for Christians. I have no issue with that. My only thing is, I think he's jumping the gun when he's like, yelling at those kids, because we don't know if they're Christian. He just pointed at a picture, right? We don't know if they're Christian. Many people from India do come over for that reason.
Okay, so yeah, let me clarify those two things. So he didn't say that they were teaming up. I think he did group them together. But
he literally said they were teaming up in the clip. Hindus and Muslims are teaming up.
In his opinion, yes. But you see, he grouped them together, whereas I would have not said it like that. I would have said that both of them are there, because it's not just Hindus, it's not just Muslims, it's both of them, right? So that's the issue. Both of them are there. And then the photo thing, he made reference to that because they were presented there as the Boy or Girl Scouts. And what he's saying is that literally all of them are immigrants. So how are you American Boy and Girl Scouts and not one of them is an American born, like American
Sure.
kids?
But I mean, they're trying to assimilate. I mean, because Indian people, and I mean, I'm sure you guys know this, but Indian people and Hindus in general, they don't join the Boy Scouts. They don't join the Girl Scouts. So to me, that's actually that's why I'm wondering if they're Christian that fled. Because that's not the norm.
That's a possibility. See, we don't know that. So I'm gonna be fair and say sure, but to his point, that's what he's going to bring as evidence. Like, what are you doing? This is Texas, right? Okay.
No, I completely understand it. I also think it's funny that he brought up Jainism of all things, because America is a Christian country, but America also has a huge problem with adultery, sex outside of marriage. Fathers abandoning their kids, yada, yada, yada.
Yes.
But Jainism, all forms of sex in marriage is a sin. It's a necessary evil. How many, it's interesting you would say that, because in those cultures, that doesn't happen.
Okay, so I'll give you that one too, because I'm not educated with that. But I have another clip. This is not. That was just one. That was the.
Can I throw something in here before your clip?
Go ahead.
I gotta say this, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm not gonna be joking. Okay, I want to be serious. I want you guys to understand. So we know from the just dealing with this, watching these videos, we know that a lot of the Muslim Brotherhood and other terrorist groups like that were created by MI6. Which is the British Empire, who doesn't know, so everyone's on the same part. All these Muslims that are being brought into the country, that the Biden administration was bringing in, was under the orders of England. Okay? And people have been wondering, why does England bring in so many foreigners, and why are they trying to remove their population? And the reason is because the Islamic belief systems are satanic. They come from satanic origins, and the British royals are satanic. All they're wanting to do is replace the Christian population with satanic populations, because they don't have compatible moral systems. If you look at what the royals do, and we all know what they've been doing, what they've been up to, we've all seen Epstein, we all seen the royal families, we know their history, right? Well,
you mean the reptilian history?
Yeah. You can call them whatever you want, but the reality of the situation is they are trying their best to remove the Christian population and replace it.
Slowly.
Because they know
Right.
that they can outbreed you, and then they
Yep.
can put their people in positions of power, or they can take your
Mhm.
rights. And because we typically, for some reason now, Christians have become pretty impotent over the last, let's say, I'm going to say probably the last 60 years, Christians have become extremely impotent when it comes to defending themselves. Historically, this is not the way we are. We have been a lot of times the exact opposite.
Right.
And we are no longer like that. And the enemy has seen this weakness. They're taking advantage of it. And Diamond Dave has talked about this many times about how we have allowed this, and it will probably be the downfall of the United States if we don't turn around.
And
We have no
earlier,
culture, we don't
I'm
say
going to set all trolling aside because I love trolling on this channel. But all trolling aside, Christians are pushovers. They are. They're weak. I can't take them seriously. Nobody takes them seriously, right? I mean, now, granted, I understand that there's very theological differences in
right?
How you handle these things, and also how you handle even fake preachers and Joel Osteen and things like that.
Yeah, that's why I was gonna say those are all TV. Those are TV pastors. Those are evangelicals. Those are non-denoms. Those are not.
Yeah,
real
but the
Christians.
point is, it's like Christians are seen as weak, not just for how they handle the Muslim Brotherhood, but I mean, you guys can't even keep your own pastors in line. And then you have the other extreme, right? So you've got the one extreme of going against the religion or intentionally manipulating people. Then you've got the other extreme where I live in Mongolia, and every day I am flooded with some pastor that's arrested for abusing kids. And then there's all these cover-ups and things like that within the church, literally every day. And it's like, come on.
Ruby, we were talking earlier about was this put out there to make people not do anything or wait on a savior or whatever? Okay, all right. So we established the fact that myself, I didn't buy into that. I went out and did something. I used my voice.
Right.
The point that I'm trying to make though is I know a lot of people live in this area that go to a Christian church. Okay. And from what because do the Aflac, I see a lot of people. We're in the Bible Belt here. These folks that say they're Christian and they're going every Sunday or whenever, they're not doing anything like we are doing. They aren't going out and doing videos. They want to say, "Oh, I don't talk about that because we just trust in Jesus." Okay,
yes,
that's fine. But they, if you want to compare it, a Q person versus every Sunday Christian. Who's doing more to try to wake people up? It's not.
Yeah. Unfortunately, right, Jimmy? But that's when I say to myself, right, when I call myself a Christian nationalist, that yes, it is my responsibility, it's my duty. And that's why I do this here. Because when people had that outcry about, oh, they want to put the Bible back in curriculum, or they want to put all these Christian things back into curriculum, the left went wild. But when it's Islam or when it's any other type of religion, like what we're seeing in Texas, they're completely fine with it. And that's my issue. Is that
as long as
there's
it's not
double
Christianity,
standards.
it's okay.
Exactly. As long
we
as
have
it's
to
not
respect
Christianity.
religion, except for this one.
Exactly.
I saw a video this week from a meeting of a homeowners association, and this homeowners association was banning the American flag, but it said right after it said we are going to ban the American flag, they said, but other flags of interest in countries will be allowed.
Hell no. You see what I'm talking about? No. That's when I will. I'm not gonna say nothing. So
we need to go and fight those people. You need to literally go and be like, hey, you can go with wuss, or you can vote for somebody like me who's got a beard.
I mean, and the thing, and I brought this up before too, but it's like, again, one of the issues I have is the freedom of religion, right?
Exactly.
And there's also the freedom of religion allows for other religions to be practiced, without government force, which you guys know I'm very much against. But it's even in America, America's the only country on the planet, as well as the UK and a couple other like woke liberal European countries, where like you just show up and you can just live. Now there's a beauty to that, but there's also the downfall of that. And in most countries around the world, like here in Mongolia, you have to register your religion. If you are not Tibetan Buddhist, or if you're not a secular, like they keep tabs on you, right? Because it's illegal to proselyte, right? And so it's like even if you don't go as far as I would with America, even if you were to just simply say, okay, you come here, what is your religion? Like you have to like register. America doesn't do that. I mean, I would be fine like with what me and Ruby talked about in the past show. I would be fine like just coming to visit until like my mom and grandma die, and then I don't really have a reason to, right? But it's like, like you know, even you have people just come and who live here is like, okay, you're on this work visa, you're here, you're married, what is your religion? That way the government can keep tabs on you and monitor you.
But I don't even like that either, because I don't like the government keeping tabs on anybody. This is the point. You can practice your religion in your home. When you start using public funds or public anything to put it in public schools, or to put a statue up in the freaking park, or whenever it's in public, that's when I have an issue with it. And Texas, unfortunately, is having these issues. And that's just one man. And I want to show, there's 2 more clips that I have here, people, because these are great examples of what we're going to have to do one day. I think it's inevitable. You're probably going to see me go viral one day. You know what I'm saying? I'm prepping you guys, because this is what's going to happen. And hopefully I don't have to do that. But this is what's happening out of all states, Texas. That's what shocks me. You know what I'm saying? So I want to show you 2 more clips, guys, and then you can dive into it, and then we're going to play the game. So this clip is this man. It says he goes off against a Texas school giving out Sharia pamphlets and hijabs, however you pronounce it. That's insane.
America is a Christian nation.
Amen.
The principal, 1 year ago, the principal on the same day, World Hijab Day, wore that hijab and said she loved it, all caps. 1 year to the day later, on World Hijab Day, Sunday, Monday hits, they're putting our girls in Sharia. They're passing out Sharia pamphlets, hijabs, Qurans, understanding Islam, understanding Sharia. Sharia treats half of this room like. And these women are not. This is not a Muslim nation. This is a Christian nation. That principal knew what she was doing. And I am not believing that was 1 or 2 people at that front desk. Fire the principal. You tell the parents, don't go online to get information. But what did they get online? Marco told the truth. That's where they got the information. And you did. Online. Tell them that's not to go there. This was dawah. Muslim proselytizing, dawah. It's like me as a Christian going into a school and witnessing to these kids. You want me to do that? Let's go.
That's wild.
Wow.
Honestly.
Exactly.
That is, I have never heard of another country doing this. For your safety, do not do that in this country. Do not do that in Asia. Like, that is wild to me.
So, so 1 more clip. Now, before we move on, if you want to teach your children about that, you may do so in the privacy of your own home. If you want your daughter to cover up her skin and only show her eyes, you may do that in your own home, or when you are going to the store or something. But when she's going to school, we don't do that here. We don't cover ourselves up. We don't treat our women like that. And we don't force people or introduce these things in a public school setting. Okay? Now, next, this is the final clip, and then you can tear it apart, whatever. Join the stage, join the chat, and then we're going to play the game.
So next is Joel Teamy from Iowa City, Iowa. After that, we'll have Kelly Smith from Aubrey.
Good evening, council members.
It's a pleasure to speak before you this evening. Thank you for hearing everybody and giving everybody a chance to speak. You may be asking yourselves, what is a guy from Iowa doing here in this town to speak on this issue? Well, actually, I come from Texas royalty. My great-grandfather was the first president of the Texas Republic. And for a lot of you, that might sound crazy. Wait a minute, Texas was a republic. But yes, it was. Mm-hmm. And my great-grandfather was Sam Houston.
Oh, wow.
Also, another great-grandfather of mine was Davy Crockett, who fought in the Alamo. And if I go back even further than that, my great-great-great-grandfathers fought under General George Washington in the Continental Army. I was born on Langley Air Force Base. Almost every single one of my family members has served in the U.S. Armed Forces. Me, I took a different route. I went into ministry, traveled to 58 countries preaching the gospel. I was kidnapped and held hostage in 2021 by Islamists in the Middle East. While on a missions trip to take care of the Coptic widows and fatherless, if you remember the 21 men that were beheaded on that beach by ISIS in Libya, I was taking care of their families. My children have lived on the mission field, on the front lines. Even my kids, my oldest, are 8 years old, and their friends were killed by Muslims. I don't want to bring any mosque to Texas, ever. We shouldn't have one here. It's incompatible with what it means to be an American. The oldest mosque in the United States actually is about 50 minutes from where I live now, where I raised my family. I'm 29 years old. I have 6 children. I'm one of 17 children, a Catholic family, most of whom live in this area, by the way. My brother is married to an Indian. She was a Muslim Indian, and when she came to America, she converted to Catholicism, learned English, and married her husband, my brother. And that's what assimilation looks like. When she was looking for a place of worship, she didn't suggest building a mosque. She decided to go to a church, because that's where we worship as Americans in this country. The question is for Texans, what does it mean to be Texan? This question is very important, because as we build temples in this state, we are changing the layout and the structure and the fabric of this beautiful Texas state. So listen, this is not what we want. Christ is king. May God bless America, and stay true to your roots. God bless you guys. Fight for it.
Well said.
Yeah.
I got to dissent. My biggest issue with every single one of the clips that you played, Ruby, is that they took this is a Christian country, everyone else should get out of here perspective. I don't think that's the right argument. I think that's the exact argument that makes people not take them seriously. There's nothing about this country that says that only one religion belongs here.
I gotta jump in on it.
Nothing about it.
That while that
Hang on, let me finish, Dave, before you start talking. Let me finish. No, you like to, it's okay, but let me finish. My problem is that the laws of this country, I agree with what Ruby was saying, and I agree that that's the case for all religions. You can teach your kids whatever you want. It shouldn't be in the schools. Now, I disagree. People should be able to dress how they want, whatever, unless there's a dress code. I don't know, whatever. That's another subject. But my point is, I don't think these people are ever going to be taken seriously because they're not approaching this from a, you know what, religion should be kept out of politics and the public sphere generally. All, not just some other religion, but including Christianity. Like, we don't want any religion telling Americans how they have to live and how they have to be. I think you lose the argument the second you say our religion is sacrosanct and everyone else should not be here. I think that's the losing argument. Now, Dave, I want to hear what you have to say.
Sure. So the reality is that technically that's true. There's nothing that says other religions have to leave, but I would say many, not all, but many religions are not compatible with the American way of life. Hinduism is not compatible with the way of
No,
life.
it's not.
It's not. That's the reality of it. Now,
It's
sure,
not.
we can be nice and we can get along. I live by a
Yeah,
caste
I
system,
agree.
and we as Hindus see people as less than human depending on what their caste is, which is not, it's antithetical to the American way of life. Second of all, America, you know, like it, whether it is now or not can be debated, but it's predominantly a Christian nation with predominantly Christian population. And to what Ruby's point was, like, heritage Americans take precedence over like foreigners. That's the same with any other country. Here, I am married to a Mongolian woman of a very prominent family. We have family in politics. I am Garadhun. My word is taken less than that of a Mongolian.
Right.
That is the way it is, right? And so whether or not the argument is lost, the reality is a heritage American has more of a say than a foreigner does, right? So you don't need to convince people. You don't have to. You just have to do what Ruby says and enforce the laws that already exist. What other people say is irrelevant.
But just a quick clarification before anybody wants to jump in, and we have 5 minutes left on this topic. Quick clarification. It's not that the argument is not that they don't belong here. The argument is that if they are here, you can be here, but you have to assimilate. The argument is, sure, if you want to be here, that doesn't mean you build up your culture here when it's not even compatible to begin with. If you want to go worship, like he said, the wife assimilated and she went to a church. She didn't say, let's build a mosque. That's the point, is that if you're really going to assimilate, then you do so. If not, then you practice freely in the privacy of your home. You don't go out there and start changing the demographic of what the city looks like, or start preaching your nonsense to try to convert extremists to your ideology. That's the point, is protecting how our country looks like, how it feels, and to preserve that for your children. That's what a conservative means. So what are we conserving? Are we going to conserve for the children of our children? Or are we going to let these people come over here and change how it looks? Like literally tearing down our statues, but then they put up their statues, taking away our churches, and they building up mosques. What are we doing here? That's the argument. So we're not saying that they don't belong here. We're not saying get rid of them, even though I say that personally. That's not what they're arguing here. What they're arguing here is to conserve. Anybody else jump in? We have like 4 minutes, 5 minutes left.
Oh, yeah. I got something
Go
to
ahead.
say.
Go ahead.
These people coming from their shithole environments and their shithole cultures, their countries are shitholes for a reason, because you chose to turn it into a shithole.
Right.
You want to come to our country? We don't want your shit.
That's true. I agree.
We live at a certain standard. We have certain rights. We have certain
Yep.
belief systems. If you want to be a shitty person, you can stay in your shithole. That's literally what it comes down to. It. You want to come here? Like, are you gonna go into someone's house and then just walk in and just shit on their carpet? Because that's what these people are doing. They're coming into our country. They're putting drugs all over the place. They're crapping all over our stuff. And the part that really irritates me is the liberals are saying that they're better than you, laughing in our face every single time they vote to give these people rights and take money from us to give to them to say that we're pieces of crap and that their country's better than ours when their country doesn't even have a military. I'm sorry. We kicked your ass all throughout history for a reason, because we're better than you. That's why we're number one. And we're going to stay number one unless we decide to act like number 147. Then we're going to become 147, and we're going to be our fault. We're number one because we kicked your ass, period. So if you're going to bring your garbage here, then we should take that garbage and send it back where it belongs. I know that does not go well, people, and people get upset and they say that kind of stuff. But the reality is your country's limitations is due to their culture.
I just want to add to that that a lot of people forget is the homelessness in this country. A lot of the migrants that infiltrated into this country, where are they living? They're not in homes. A lot of them are in parks, commons. Here in Boston, Massachusetts, we have a high percentage of migrants. They flooded our Boston Common and the Cambridge Common, so you can't even go into Boston and enjoy yourself. Now we're having teenage mobs taking over our beaches. That's my problem with all this going on. Is the homelessness problem, and with the homelessness comes the drugs, feces all over the place, diseases spreading. That's my problem. If you're going to come here, come vetted and go through the right channels. We're not saying you can't come here, but come here the right way. We welcome everybody. We're a melting pot of everybody in this country. But it wasn't done that way. We got dumped with all this problem. I live in Burlington, Massachusetts. It's predominantly Indians, but they're wonderful people. They're very nice. And we don't have, everybody gets along here where I live. But I will not go into Boston because I'm too scared to, because of the homelessness problem, because of the drugs, the filth all over the street. That's what I want to see. Clean all this up. Bo's 100% correct. Clean it up.
I could even back Bo on this too, because there's really you could tell who comes in the right way and who doesn't. Because if you look at people on HB21 visas from India, they're in homes, they work at multi-million-dollar companies, well educated, and they behave themselves and they assimilate. And even in but not only do they assimilate, they leave. I used to work at Wells Fargo with a bunch of people from Utah there. They were well educated, very respectable. And then after their contract was up, they went back, right? Now, the people that are coming from, say, India, and I've experienced with this, that are flooding the streets and crapping the place, are actually of lower caste trying to escape, right? Because the wealthy people, we don't share the wealth with them. They're born poor for a reason, and they deserve to be poor, right? So they take that over to America with them, right? And they don't assimilate. That's the problem. And it's not just America they go to. I mean, there's issues with that in Japan, right? There's issues with that in Japan.
Yeah, there's a reason every country wants them out.
I agree with what Gigi said. That and we had this conversation last week, and it was long, and I'm not going to rehash it, but I don't think we should just say no one else can be allowed to come here. But there has to be rules. There's got to be guidelines, and maybe the test isn't perfect, et cetera, all the things we talked about last week. But I think the second you say everyone else has to stay out, you're back to us versus them. You're back in a cult. No, and you're not better than what you came from. You're not better than what you came from if that's your perspective. But that doesn't mean there shouldn't be rules. That doesn't mean that people shouldn't have to abide. That doesn't mean they shouldn't have to assimilate. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is the second you point at other people and say it's all their fault, we need to get rid of all of them, you're in a cult. And you may as well fucking go back to the Kingdom Hall. You may as well go back to the Kingdom Hall and sit there and listen to the elders and be preached to you by the Watchtower about how everybody outside those walls is evil but you.
No, Watchtower's trash.
So
I agree they're trash, and they're trash because they say things like that.
Yeah.
Yes, there needs to be rules. Yes, there needs to be guidelines. Yes, we need to have the law of the land obeyed. But the second you blame all your problems on one other group because you don't like that, you may as well go back. You may as well go back. You're not better. You haven't grown. You haven't learned. You're still the same person. You may as well go back.
John, are you arguing that we should be allowing the poor people that just poop and do drugs to just do that? I mean, I'm a little confused there.
No, what I'm saying is there should be rules, there should be laws, and people should be able to come here legally that are beneficial to the country. I don't think blanket statementing, however you say that, everyone from a group. I don't find that anything but what we came from. All I see is what we came from when I hear that. So, John, if someone breaks the law, there are consequences for breaking the law. There should be. You shouldn't be able to come to any country illegally. I agree with that 100%. But the second you write off all your problems on another group of people, because you're looking for a scapegoat, you may as well go back. They're just worldly people. God's going to kill them all anyway.
Which
You're
is why
not
we don't
different.
do that. So I agree with John, which is why we don't do that. Go ahead,
So
Jimmy.
So John, could you clarify your position, how you feel about communities such as Dearborn, Michigan, or the other countries or other little cities in Minnesota where the Somalians have basically taken over the government and pushed their way of life onto, the people there? How would you view that?
If people come here illegally, if they don't assimilate reasonably into the culture, I do think that that's a problem. I'm not disagreeing with that part. I don't think any religion should come in here, or any group should come in here and try to force that culture or their culture on other people. I'm not agreeing with that. Let me make that clear. What I'm disagreeing with is saying everyone from every other country and culture should be blocked because we're afraid of a certain subsection of that group or culture.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm saying. That's why we should have laws, and laws aren't being upheld and they're not being enforced. And that's a problem. But I don't think the solution is to create a boogeyman enemy that you think 100% should be blocked from access here. Because Gigi was talking about, and other people were saying, there are people who do assimilate. They're very productive to the country. It's a positive influence.
Yeah, but that's legal assimilation. These people who are not legal, they're not doing anything for us.
Yeah, we're not disagreeing on the people who don't come here legally.
Yeah,
what I'm hearing is not just that. From the clips, from everything, it's not just, we need to make sure people who don't come here legally are a problem. No, what I'm hearing is everyone of every other non-Christian culture is a problem. That's what those clips said. Not people who come here illegally from other cultures. That's
I understand what you're saying after
none of them
the way you're
said
presenting
that.
it now.
None of them were specific about illegal immigration. They were saying these cultures do not belong here. And I disagree with that. And the reason I disagree with that is because I have friends in those cultures and they're wonderful people, and I will never agree with that. That is a fear-mongering perspective.
Right. So let me just clarify. I'll just clarify this for anybody who's watching and for John's concern. Those specific city councils were about those specific communities overtaking their public school systems, trying to build mosques, trying to introduce their culture and religion to children without the knowledge and consent of parents and citizens, etc. That's why they were talking the way that they were, and it's happening in Texas out of all places. That's why I shared these clips, because they were doing that in the public sense of trying to introduce their children when the parents either didn't know about it or didn't consent to that. So that's why they were against this. That's why they're saying this is a Christian nation. Why are we allowing these communities of people to go ahead and try to use our space, our property, our land, our taxpayer dollars to do things of their culture, their religion, and what they want to do? That argument. So I just wanted to clarify that. If they want to do those things, they can do that.
Like the schools, I agree with the guy who said they shouldn't be able to proselytize in the school. Just like I don't think Christians should be able to proselytize in school. Now, if a group of kids at a school has a club for their religion, of course that's different because you're not pushing it on the whole. You have your own little extracurricular group. That's cool. I don't have any issues with that. I agree that no one should be able to proselytize in any public sphere because that defeats the whole purpose of the separation of church and state. I'm 100% in favor of the separation of church and state. And that's me talking as a Christian. I'm 100% in favor of that because I don't think any government should push any religious ideology on anybody.
Or groups of
religious
people.
Ideology. Anybody.
Exactly.
So I'm in favor of that. But what I don't like is when it crosses from, we should make sure people come here legally. We should make sure that we have rules and that those rules are followed. It crosses from that into everyone who isn't like us is shit.
Exactly.
That's my problem. It's not that I
Right.
don't understand the concern. I understand the concern 100%. I share some of the concern. I don't share the us versus them mentality. And I never will, because I came out of a cult. I'm never going back to one.
Right, right. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you, guys.
John. Yeah, thank you for
That was
your
really good.
participation. Are we ready? Are we ready for the game? If
Ruby,
anybody has to leave,
Ruby, hang on
you
a
can
second.
hop
Hang
off.
on. Hang
Yeah.
on. You do
Yeah.
realize it's after 12 o'clock already, right?
Yeah, so it is 12.
Yeah. So what do you want to do, Jimmy? It's up to you.
Can we do it
Yeah,
next
because
week?
I thought we were going to try to do the game, start the game about 11 because it was going to take us a little while to do
Dang
it.
it. Yeah.
I gotta
we
go.
ran over.
Yeah,
All right.
we're going to have to do that next. We're going to have to do the game next week, folks.
I'm
Sorry.
sorry.
Can we at least choose a category today so that we can prep for
So you
next
know what,
Tuesday?
okay, so all right, so to end the show tonight, we'll do 5 questions. Okay. All right. So just
Okay, wait, I gotta play my clip though. 'cause
I was
made
going
a
to say
clip
that. Go ahead and
just for
play
you.
your little, yeah, go ahead and play
Okay.
that, and then we'll do 5 questions and kind of give an example. So
Okay, guys. So Jimmy came up with the music. Enjoy the little intro for the game. You're gonna see this every Tuesday night when we play the game. So get ready.
Okay.
Step right up and take your seat. The battle's on. Feel the heat. Lock it in and trust your mind. Leave your doubts and fears behind. UPC. Trivia battle. Put your brain to the test. UPC. Trivia battle. Only one comes out the best. Buzzer's ready. Clock is ticking. Winners take the crown. UPC. Trivia battle. Don't back down.
I like it. I like it. That's nice.
I am your host, Jimmy
That was
Bell.
good. I felt like I had a game show. That was great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was going for on that. All right, so I guess we'll just do this. We'll just do 5 questions, just kind of get a taste of it and see how it goes. But I guess the way I wanted to do it, we got 8 people on the stage. So we actually need. Do y'all want to do it in the format where I did last week, where I just asked the question, everybody come up with it, or you want me to pick somebody and then have that person select the category they want? What do y'all prefer?
Let's select a category and we'll stay in one category. And then I'm gonna play the music so that we're not talking over one another. And as soon as the music ends, whoever has an answer can just throw it in because some of us might not know and we'll just stay quiet.
All right, so let's try this. Let's try this. Okay.
Are there prizes? Are we getting prizes?
No, there ain't no prizes. I ain't got no money. All right. So Ruby,
Yes.
Ruby, you're gonna be first. Okay, Ruby, you be first.
What you
And I need
talking
you
about?
Listen. All right, we'll go with both. Who wants to be first?
Who wants to go first?
I'm supposed to leave at 9 o'clock, guys.
Go ahead,
I'll
Bo. You
go.
go
Screw
first.
it.
Have a good
You
night,
want to
Bo.
do?
Screw it.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
go
sorry.
first. I don't know
Yeah,
what's
good
happening.
night.
I'll be
I
the
don't
guinea
want to keep
pig.
you.
Nah,
Good
Bo.
night, Bo. I appreciate it,
night,
brother.
Bo.
Nah,
Thank you so
Bo.
much for
All right,
coming.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Hey,
Bo.
Karen,
Bo.
look forward to see it.
Bye, Bo.
Next
All right.
week.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to read the categories and then Bo's going to pick one. And for you guys that are on the panel, when I do these, write them down so I don't have to repeat them every time, please.
Oh, brother.
Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah. So the categories are
Okay.
early America, pre-1700s,
Oh, dear.
Early America, pre-1700s.
the 1700s, Revolution
Lord.
and Independence,
Oh, I can do that one.
Revolution. Okay.
1800s, expansion, conflict, and change. You can just put the date down.
Yeah, the date. Mm-hmm.
Early 1900s,
Mm-hmm.
late 1900s,
Mm-hmm.
and modern America 2000s to now.
Oh, brother.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So,
2000s.
Dave, since you
Okay.
chose to be the guinea pig, which category do you choose, my friend?
Wait, I'm still trying to write all this out. So it's late
Yeah, I already wrote it.
1900s,
Early
and then
1900s.
modern
I'm gonna share my
America.
screen.
It's
I
early
probably won't know
1900s,
all of this.
late 1900s, and modern 2000s.
There's my screen.
Early America, pre-1700s, the 1700s, the 1800s, early 1900s.
Screw
late
it. I'll do
1900s.
modern America and see how
Yeah,
much I've actually
thank
been
you.
paying attention. I'll do modern America.
All right. So the first question on modern America. Oh, okay. This is pretty easy.
And you have to
actually.
wait till the music ends, okay? So you have time. You have a few seconds. Okay, go
All
ahead.
right. So
Jimmy.
this will be only Dave answering this question. And if
Mhm.
Dave cannot answer this question, then somebody will have to somehow say they want to steal it. Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess we can do by, I don't know, hand raise or whatever, or somebody speak up.
If he needs a lifeline, like Dave can say, I need a lifeline. Somebody chime in. Somebody help me.
I
Then
need
he
an
can-
adult.
All right. Which
Go ahead.
hurricane devastated New Orleans in 2005? Hold on, Dallas. Don't say nothing. This is Dave's question.
And don't use Google either. Don't cheat. We have to trust
No
each other.
cheating.
You see my hands.
Okay, great.
Your time is up.
And people in the
Those
chat.
could be AI hands. We don't know.
Yeah, AI hands.
That's up. Dave, what is your answer?
I'm gonna say Hurricane Katrina.
And
Well, they had
that
that in
is
the chat.
totally
That's
correct.
cheating. They had that in the chat.
That
They have the
Very
answer in the
good.
chat.
Very good, everybody in the chat. Right
Yeah,
now.
so-
Well, to
I
be
guess
fair,
what
that's
happened-
like an easy one. Like I'm gonna be honest, I was like a bit nervous because I was expecting like pop culture or something like that.
Yeah, there's some others that are pretty. We start easy. Well, all right, so what we're going to have to do is on those that are on the panel, those on the stage, when you're asked the question, actually everybody, don't look at the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, try not to look at the chat. Just
Yeah, I'm not looking at chat.
all right.
Okay.
Who
good.
wants to go second?
I will, because I got to get off. The
All right,
Revolutionary
Gigi.
War.
Which category would you like, my dear?
The Revolutionary War, 1775 to 1783.
So the 1700s
Nice.
Revolution and Independence.
Yes. Oh.
All righty. We're starting off easy. This is. All
Mm.
right, Gigi.
Yes.
What were colonists protesting during the Boston Tea Party?
Was that the Boston Massacre in 1770 when the British shot a
No, this
bunch of people?
This was the Boston Tea Party.
I don't know the answer. I know the Boston Massacre, but I don't know the Boston.
Okay.
Well, we're throwing tea over the ship. That's all I know.
Okay, so that's what they were doing. But why?
but why? Yeah.
Taxes?
The judges come back and say, "All right, we'd have to give you a half credit on that." 'Cause,
What's the answer?
It was they were protesting taxation without
Oh.
representation.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Half right anyway.
Okay. Specifically, it was the Tea Act imposed by the British Parliament. So there we go. Let me stop. Do I need to keep sharing my screen?
Very good. We're gonna give an
Right.
applause.
All right. What did the chat say? Taxes without representation. Good
Yeah.
job, guys. All right.
Very good job.
Lily, you want to go third?
Sure. If I could get Jeff to participate, he's a whiz at these things. He's the early and the late. Okay, come and choose your question, Jeff.
Come on, Jeff.
Category. Choose a category. Look at the list.
And then I gotta
There
go.
goes the
Come on,
list.
Jeff.
He won't do it. Okay. How about if I do 1900s?
1900s.
Okay. Early
All
or
right, so-
late?
Yeah, early or late.
Oh wait, he's back. He's coming in. Okay, he's in.
Early 1900s financial, under 1910, between 1900 and 1910.
So that would be your category.
So
Okay.
early 1900s, innovation and world wars. All right, your question is,
Financial.
what was the first U.S. national monument?
Oh.
Good one. I'm stumped.
When the music stops, you have to answer.
All right, Jeff, do you have an
I
answer?
don't
for
know. I'm
us?
stumped. The first trans woman. I don't know.
All right. Would anybody on the panel be willing to steal this
A
question?
lifeline, guys. Does anybody on the
Was it
panel
the
have an
monument in
answer?
Washington, D.C., the whatever you call it,
The
monument?
obelisk.
Yeah, whatever they call it. Yeah.
Nope.
The
That
obelisk.
was the answer.
Originally said, didn't I?
Is that right?
No.
The
All right,
James Monroe.
Chat saying Statue of Liberty, Washington Monument. Now remember, guys, this is the first U.S. national monument.
National
Right.
monument. I
Statue
don't know
of
this one.
Liberty?
I'm gonna guess Davy Crockett.
No,
Okay.
everybody in the
First
chat is
national
saying
monument.
Washington.
Statue
Washington
of
Monument.
Liberty is what I was thinking.
But
So-
Statue of Liberty was a gift that wasn't ours.
Oh,
so
okay.
it has to
Thank
be
you.
something else.
Robert E.
James
Lee?
Rock,
The statue of Robert E. Lee?
Philadelphia Bell.
It looks like we have stumped the class.
Panel.
Oh,
All right, so
man,
according
what is
to
it,
this,
Jimmy?
and we can double check these things if we ever have to verify them.
Mhm.
But it does say Devil's Tower in Wyoming, designated
Oh,
1906.
What
it's
is
a
it?
tree. It's a prehistoric
Oh.
tree. Devil's Tower,
Devil's Tower.
Wow.
where Steven Spielberg filmed and landed the E.T. Return.
Yes.
Wow, thanks, Lisa.
Ah.
Wow. Yay.
So it's not Elvis.
No.
No.
Okay.
Good night,
Elvis,
everybody.
okay.
Good
Great
night.
show. Good night.
Thank you so much
Have
for
a good
joining
night.
us.
Night.
Okay.
It's nice meeting you, and I'll be talking to you.
You
Good night,
too.
everyone.
Okay,
Thank
so I
you
see
so
I see a
much.
lot of question marks in the chat and everything. Like I said, this is where we can actually take this information. We can go back and look and see. Okay, was that really the first national monument? We can go back and we can always correct it. I'm just going off what they have
National
here.
Monument. Okay, you guys got to really think about it.
All right,
All right.
John,
Who's
would you
next?
like to pick a category, sir?
Yep.
You must be kidding.
Yeah. Go ahead, John. Pick a category. There goes
Oh
the list.
God, I don't know any of this stuff.
Modern America, late 1900s.
Fine, modern America. If I'm gonna fail
Modern
at anything, at
America.
least let me humiliate myself in my own generation because I don't
All
know.
right,
anything.
modern America. Now,
I know
granted,
a
on
whole
modern,
lot about a few things, and that's it.
on modern
Exactly.
America, on modern
ahead.
America, we only have 5 questions, so eventually that category is
Mhm.
going to eventually disappear. All right,
Okay.
so here is the question:
Scarlett Johansson.
What was okay? I'm gonna say allegedly to this one, okay, for a certain reason, and you'll find out why. What was the first food eaten in space by an American?
Ice cream. I don't know.
You have until the music, so think about it.
I mean, the only way I get this right is if I cheat. And I'm not doing that. So
No. You could ask for a lifeline from the panel or from the chat, so you have options. No cheating.
We'll say, go ahead and look since no one really. Go ahead and look at the chat because there is a right answer in the chat.
oh God.
That's a hint, Jimmy.
Surely
You
it's
can't do
not
that.
Tang.
Yeah.
I do remember the commercials from the 80s about Tang, though.
Yeah, I do too.
Take a wild guess, or you could use a lifeline. You could ask one of us or the chat.
No, if I'm gonna crash and burn, I'm gonna do it all by myself.
Okay, go ahead. Take a guess.
It can't be Tang because too many people think that's right. So maybe it's applesauce.
The correct answer is this particular food was eaten by astronaut John Glenn during the 1962 orbital mission, and that was applesauce.
Nah.
It's not modern America.
Wow.
Thank you, Jesse Gonzalez.
Yes, Jesse Gonzalez nailed that one. All right, so we'll do 2 more. We'll give Dallas and Ruby a question, and then we're gonna shut this down because it's 12:20 already.
So it's applesauce.
All right,
Okay.
Dallas, what would you like your
Pick a
category to be?
category.
Well, I think it can be with the late night 1900s, about 1960s.
Okay.
Civil rights. Okay, that's good. That's a good one. Go
All
ahead,
right.
Jimmy.
So late 1900s, civil rights to the Cold War. Your question, Dallas, is
Maybe.
what law? Do what?
Go ahead. What is it that you
Okay. Here's your question. What law ended the separate but equal doctrine in the United States?
It was when the mandatory prayer was removed from public school system in 62.
That is not correct. Try again.
He still has them to the music, so Keep
the
thinking that.
civil rights movement and the desegregation.
All right. Can you be more specific? You're on the right track. Can you be more specific? What law ended the separate but equal doctrine?
The Brown versus Brown.
He looked at the chat.
He took a lifeline. That's okay, though. That's okay. If you took
All
a
right.
lifeline, then that's fine.
So
Go ahead.
I'll have to do this like I did with Gigi. I have to give you half credit on this one because it was called the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah,
pretty close.
Yeah, it was that one law put forth by that one guy.
So I think
Martin Luther King.
I think as we work this out and find a really good format, we can make like the questions worth 10 points. And so on that particular question, I think I would only give you 5 points because it was half right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
So I want you guys to give me feedback. You know, when the show's over, go into the comments section and give us some ideas on how we can do this and make it more fun. We can like steal points from each other and stuff like that. Anyway, so, all right.
Okay, so my turn.
Last question. Ruby, what is your category?
I'm gonna have to do modern because I don't know nothing else.
Y'all are killing. I'm gonna tell you right now, y'all are killing yourselves for later on, and as we move on with this.
Dang.
Because the modern's going to be gone. So.
All right, modern.
All right. Question number 3 on this. All right. Where did the mass shooting of December 14th, 2012 take place?
Oh my word! Are you serious? All right, chat. Oh, I'm not gonna look at the chat. Sorry.
You can't look at the chat. 30 seconds.
All right, I'm looking over here to the wall.
I can give you one. I can give you one hint. You would nail it.
Yeah, that's the problem. You can't give me any hints. I'm gonna have to take it as is. Well, I'm gonna focus on the year 2012. Where was I? Okay, so what shooting took place in 2012?
What mass shooting?
Mass shooting. Okay, that's better. I'm gonna say Sandy Hook.
The correct answer is Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newton, Connecticut. Ruby gets a full 10 points.
Oh my goodness. I'm looking at the chat. Somebody said Houston. Jesse said Columbine. No, Columbine was in the 90s. That was like
that was like 97, 8 or something like that.
Yeah.
So
that was great. That was great. So I got 10 points. Everybody keep your score as well. So we could add on, next Tuesday.
Well, we'll start that next week because we didn't tell anybody from the beginning. So
I'm keeping my 10 points. I don't know about you.
You keep your 10 points. But I would like to figure out a way to where like if Dave's got like 50 points and I ask him a question and
he should lose points if he gets it wrong. He should lose at least 5.
No, you don't lose no points. I want to be able to where he's got like 50 points and then Ruby's like, I know the answer.
And I could take those points.
You can take like 10 points or, whatever.
Okay, but I think we should still lose points if we get it wrong. I'm super competitive, Jimmy. Like, we have to put the stakes up high. Like, it has to be.
All right, Ruby, you want stakes high? You want high stakes? Okay, so with points. Okay, I was going to say if you lose your citizenship.
Okay, hold on. Time out. Jesse
let's go all the way here. Let's go hard.
Jesse Gonzalez has said a curtain call. One more question. So we'll do one more question. It says Jesse got applesauce. Jesse, what category would you like me to pull from for you? What would be your category, sir?
Star Wars.
Waiting on Jesse to come up with a category.
All right, Jesse, you can click the link if you want to join, or you can play from the chat if you can type fast enough. So let me know.
19, okay, early or late? Early or late?
Early or late, Jesse? All right, we're just waiting for Jesse to type.
Yeah, he said 1900, but we have two categories. We have early. Okay, he said early.
Early.
Okay. All right. Here's the question. When did Henry Ford's Model T hit the market? Play the music.
Play the music.
When did Henry Ford's Model T hit the market? All right, 1895 is not correct.
Not correct. So you're going to have to try again, Jesse. You have onto the music.
1912 is not correct. 1810. No, not 1810.
Okay, Jesse.
All right, Jesse, one more time.
Jesse. Okay. And we're trusting him that he's not cheating as well because he's in chat, so I can't see his face.
Well, I'm impressed because the answer has been put up. I'm impressed. The answer has been put up.
All right, now he's just playing games.
Okay, here we go. Who do you think in the chat has the right answer?
Okay, who do you think? Repeat the question one more time for me, Jimmy.
When did Henry Ford's Model T hit the market?
Henry Ford T hit the market? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Dallas, would you like to tell us all?
1908.
Correct. It is 1908.
1908. Wow, Dallas, you get 10 points, bro. Write that down right now. You did it.
And I like how Jane Spitfire said 1908 because my grandpa had one for my mom. So that's pretty cool too.
Wow. Cool. That was awesome. You see how Dallas just stole your points, Jesse? You see?
That'd be a perfect example.
Good one,
so,
Dallas.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. We'll go back and watch this segment. We'll try to come up with something, but we're going to make it fun, interactive, and educational all at one time. So for those haters that still watch us, you don't like the show in the quiz, turn it off. Go do something else. We don't care.
Yeah, nobody said you had to like it.
Yeah,
but we're gonna do it. Like,
I feel like the haters that watch the show continuously and constantly go after Jimmy in the comments. It reminds me of Star Trek Next Generation, where Data gets his emotion chip and he drinks like his first drink, and she's like, "It looks like Data hates his drink." He's like, "Yes, I really hate this. Would you like more? Please." Like, like that's what it feels like to me. Like,
yeah, it's crazy, but hey, I'm used to it. Been doing it for a while now. I just want to thank everybody. It was a great show this evening. We had a great conversation. I'm going to be jumping off, so I don't know if Ruby, are you ending it or you?
No, yeah, we're gonna end it here. Thank you so much for everybody for joining. John, Dallas, Lily, Dave, Bo, everybody in the chat. This was super fun. I love doing this, especially with you guys. If it wasn't for Lily sending me all this information, Lily, thank you so much. You inspired the topic of tonight because I usually don't know exactly what I want to talk about, but I'm passionate enough to just come up with anything. You know what I'm saying? But today it was more like centered, structured, and exactly what I wanted to talk about because I saw that like 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? So thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. There's lots of topics that are on my list, as you know. So if there's any you're unsure of, send a shout out and I'll see if it's one that I've already done a lot of research on.
I think
real quick. So Ruby, I don't know if you have admin rights, but the Discord that for XJWs that you are and I are in, there can you post that in the private chat?
Post what?
The Discord link. I don't have admin rights. If you have admin rights, if you could just post that in the chat, because I think that's what, like, that way we all can, like.
But what do you want me to post? Do you want me to post an invite link, like to join
to join the Discord? Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I can't do it because I don't have admin rights. Like, we tried before, so like, other XJWs can like meet and have a safe space to go and hang out with other XJWs, but I am not I am not important apparently. So
no, it's nothing like that, Dave.
I know. I gotta.
He's odd man out, right?
I think I'm the only ex-Mormon in that group, actually.
Oh, you're ex-Mormon. Okay.
I think one thing I was going to do it tonight if we would have had time, but I think one thing that happened this week on mainstream media that caught a lot of people off guard was the admiral that was on Fox News that apparently looked like he was wearing a mask. So,
right here at his neck, it was coming up right at there his neck.
Yeah, we could talk about that next week, Ruby. One of the little clips, because it feeds a lot of credence to what a lot of us believe about Biden and his mask. So, but anyway, that's something we can talk about next week.
Definitely. So maybe Shauna changed the settings on Discord now that you mention it, Dave, because I didn't realize that before, but I don't even think I have the link. But let me just check my.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's a problem we've been encountering. Yeah. Okay.
But thank you, Dallas, for being on. Thank you, John, for showing up, buddy. I love it when you come on here. Lily, it was a pleasure seeing you again.
You too, darling. And thank you for
meeting you, Lily. Nice meeting you, Leah. If I met you before, I don't think I met you before.
I think we have, Dallas. I have Empath Lady on the questions or the chat down there, so it always comes up Empath Lady. Yeah. But I want Ruby. You and Jimmy do such a good job. You really do. And I mean, it's so obvious, really, honestly, that outsiders like Dave and others have seen you guys. And it's because, I mean, it is to me that old JW spirit. We learned something about it, about being able to talk in public and also share our feelings in a very articulate way. They taught us that. So, I mean, John, maybe we can give them kudos for that.
Oh, absolutely. I have told Ruby many, many times, even if we disagree on things, the fact that she lets people like me who disagree on things come on and talk and be respectful. And sometimes it gets a little bit intense, but she lets everyone speak their mind. And I have nothing but respect for that, because I think the one thing that this country is lacking right now is that everyone is trying to shut everybody else up instead of listening to the other side and trying to learn something.
Yep.
Well, nice point, John. And I'll introduce myself to you and to Beth.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Alrighty.
All right, guys. So yeah, I just noticed that my link also expired, so I'm gonna have to fix that on my bio. If anybody wants to join that Discord server, I'm gonna have to get that link for you guys next week. But I think the settings have changed to make it more secured for the members already in there, because it is supposed to be a super safe place. Like we don't talk about politics, religion, nothing there. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably why it became a little bit more secured in that sense. And that's what I'm assuming. I don't know, but I haven't been active on there for a few weeks because I've been like super busy and I got a new job and I'm getting another new job. Oh yeah, guys. So I'm about to have 2 jobs really soon, but there's one thing that I tell everybody, nothing is going to get in the way of my Tuesday nights. I don't care about nothing. I'm going to be free every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I was making fun of her like a couple of weeks ago, and I said, "Oh, you got to go in with the JW thing where you say I can't work Tuesday nights because of my religion."
Yep, that's exactly what I said. I said Tuesdays and Sundays I can't do it. I'm sorry. I go to church on Sundays and Tuesday, none of your business. Because I don't talk about this stuff on because if somebody finds me in real life on here, that's it. I'm done. So
well, I think this is why I'm actually grateful, and this is why I like float around, because it's like we disagree on a lot, but living in Mongolia, there's not a lot of people I can talk with about these things, just because they just don't apply, right?
And you're ex-cult life, and so that's why Mormon and JW get along a lot.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, my experience, just to wrap this up really quick, my experience is probably different than most because I wasn't born into Mormonism. I joined when I was 31, and I was in for about 4 years.
Oh man.
And I left. And we could talk about that later, but so I would say I have experience with cult life, but it's not like what many people here have, because I willingly joined as an adult with like life experience. So
yep.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much. I got the outro here. Jimmy, any final thoughts before we go?
I just enjoyed this evening. We'll do it like we always can do, is bring you guys good information, up-to-date stuff going on, current events, what we feel about it. And just, like I said, the biggest thing is for me, I don't want to live in fear. I don't want anybody to live in fear. So keep that in mind when you're listening to news. Is it pushing the fear button? Are they trying to push the fear button? And if they are, and you sense that, then you might want to take a second look at it just to see, okay, is this legit, or am I being played here? So that would be my only suggestion there. And then next week we'll do more questions from the trivia. Again, in the comments, once the video posts, in the comments, if you guys got some suggestions, please put them in there. We'll see them throughout the week. So I just want to thank everybody that came on the panel tonight. And Lily, thank you for the kind compliments that you gave me and Rubio.
Darling, you're the best, really. We appreciate you 100%.
You too. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. I'm going to see you guys next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And always remember, if you ever have a problem about what we talk about or do here, then join the panel and tell me why. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Join the panel, tell you. Oh, I thought it was going to be different. I thought Ruby was going to be like, if you have a problem, then go fuck yourself. Like, that's what I was expecting.
Never. I don't talk like that. Never. I want you
I guess that's why I'm here, right? To do it for you. That's why I'm here to do it for you. Okay.
I'm stirring the pot. I'm joking. I'm trolling. All right. I'm going to play the outro. This is from Jimmy Bell's page as well. Thank you to John for all the videos that he's made for us. He made the intro. He made the outro. Jimmy came in clutch with the music, and I helped out a little bit with the lyrics. But this is from you guys. This is for us, for the UPC.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Night, y'all. Take care.
They said I lost my mind. Said I was chasing ghosts and shadows. I showed them what I'd find, but they just laughed and called me hollow. Tinfoil on my head, they said conspiracy delusion. Every word I said was buried under their confusion, but I could feel it in my bones. A reckoning was coming. I'd rather bleed and stand alone. crazy, call me broken, call me every name you've spoken. Paranoid, deranged, and blind, but I had something on my mind. Now the curtain's torn wide open. Every word I said is proven. Who's crazy now? Let the record show. Wide awake while you were in the show. They cost me friends, they cost me sleep. Call me unhinged at the dinner table. They rolled their eyes so goddamn deep. Said I was broken and unstable. Lost my job for speaking out. Got unfriended for the questions. Every time I raised my doubt, they made it therapy, they suggested. But I kept burning through the night, connecting every dot they missed. The only question left was when I left. And now they get this. Call me crazy, call me broken, call me every name you've spoken. Paranoid, deranged, and blind, but I had something on my mind. Now the curtain's torn wide open. Every word I said is proven. Who's crazy now? Let the record show. Wide awake while you were in the show. You call me crazy. You call me lost. You call me lost, but you never counted the cost. Silencing the ones who see before the rest already. You buried us in ridicule, but truth don't shake so easy. Now the world is cracking open, and the shock is written on your face. And I know you want an answer for how you got so taken in this place. Well, I can say I told you so. God knows I've earned the right, but I held this torch for all of us. Not to prove I'm right, but to give you light. I'm not here to burn you down or tell you that you failed me. I know how deep this rabbit hole goes. I know how bad the fall can feel. I was once exactly where you're standing, shaking in the story they were handing. So take my hand, I'll walk beside you. There's a way to step outside this. Now you're questioning, now you're waking. Feel the ground beneath you shaking. Truth is heavy, truth is hard, but you don't have to carry it alone. We were crazy, now we're proven, and the world is finally moving. No, I told you so. Just take my hand. Let's walk out of this darkness while we can. Wide awake, we'll face the dawn. Wide awake, we'll carry on. We were never crazy, we were just the first to bleed. Now the world needs all of us, every soul that dared to see. Come on, wide awake. Come on, wide awake. Wide awake. Come on, wide awake. We'll face this together.